Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel. I'm, of course, your host, Mega Mike the Movie Man. We have a super fun stream planned for you all tonight. Welcome to BluTuber Friendsgiving 2024. We are gathered around the table here to share some stories of what we're thankful for, maybe to just relax, munch on some food. I don't know, maybe some people get wild tonight. I don't know. We're going to see what happens, but it's going to be a fun time for sure. So let me go ahead and remind the audience out there, if you're thankful for the channel, carve up that like and subscribe just like you would with a turkey. Use super chat so we can gobble your comment live. Okay. If you have ideas for streams, consider some memberships or gifted memberships are always nice around the holidays to thank this amazing community we have built on this channel. And thank you all for being here today, of course. You guys ready for this?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Ready.
Yay. All right. Very good.
Yeah.
So very, I know, I love the enthusiasm here. So very casual stream tonight. Like I said, we're just going to kind of go around 5 times around the table, share 5 things we're thankful for related to movies, the BluTuber community, any fun stuff like that. So I guess I will get us started here with kind of just first looking at the comments. We got to see what audience members are joining the table here today because we got to thank them, of course. But we got Jane Doe right there. Good evening, everyone. Congratulations on the new baby, Mike. What an excellent panel you have lined up for tonight. Well, you know what? That goes perfect with what I'm first thankful for. So very thankful for my baby girl that I just had over the weekend. So very excited for that.
Yay.
Thank you. It's tiring.
Congratulations,
and
buddy.
you
only just started too.
Yeah, exactly. That's
know,
what I was going
right?
to say. Wait till
I
they're
know.
teenagers. Yeah.
Just started, just in the first week.
Jump
But
forward.
a couple movies this show that kind of helped inspired me to pick out a name that I think is excellent was the Planet of the Apes franchise and then Marvel Comics. We went with the name Nova. So yeah, so that name
Very
appears
nice.
in both franchises, right? Nova Corps, and of course they're actually doing a Nova movie in the future, so that's perfect timing. And then Nova shows up in Planet of the Apes. So yeah, I thought it was a really good name, short to the point, and just can be comboed in so many ways. Maybe in the future if she gets on YouTube, Supernova. There you go. Already has an amazing social media name. It just goes perfectly, right?
Start the YouTube channel. Get
There
it going.
you go, right? Gotta get them started young, of course. And I know she's gonna have like more subscribers than me by the time she's 3.
Oh, she'll have more than me in a
What
very short amount of
happened?
time.
But yes, very thankful for my daughter. So that is very awesome. I know it's still kind of weird to say though, because it's like so fresh and new. You're like, oh wait, I'm a parent now. That's pretty interesting.
This is the beginning of your firsts. There's going to be a lot of new firsts that you come across with this, and they're all fun. They're all fun. It's amazing how fast it goes by, but you'll have a blast with it. Just hang on and enjoy the ride.
And let's see who else we got in here. Of course, we got Johnny all over the place.
It's all us.
We got my mom in here. Hello, Mom. Hello, Grandma.
Hey,
Hello,
Mom.
let's see. And of course, it's just everybody. Tion is just everywhere on the panel. And with that, of course, we got Tony there too, saying hi to everyone. We got Film Addiction out there. Wait, I left and Corey grew a beard. Keep it up, bro. It's No Shave November, right, Corey?
I started a little early, but that's all right. October and November. So
you got Smirk out there. Yeah, what an amazing community we have. I just have to say that. Amazing community. Brent out there. Congrats. Thank you so much. And Nate the Great is out there. Hope you feel a lot better, Nate.
Yeah, feel better,
Nate.
yes. Yep.
Yes. Yeah, Nate was going to be on the panel, but feeling a little under the weather. So send him your best wishes, everybody. All right, so there we go. So that's the first thing I'm thankful for. Corey, you are ready?
One thing, I was just talking to a good friend about this earlier today, but I'm going to lean into the community. You brought that up here. Especially over this past year, there's been some pretty rough moments with things that have gone on, and it's been heartwarming to see how much people have come together to help support people through those rough times. But then, we're also together to join in with the good times too and celebrate. And no community's perfect. I know there's always rough spots here or there. And believe me, I've ran into some of those before, but I think the positive outweighs the negative by a long shot. And it's been, I don't know, it's made this whole YouTube thing even more fun and memorable for me to see how people have pulled together to help people, like I said, going through those rough times, but then also coming through and congratulating people when they're hitting milestones, or having those positive moments as well too. So very thankful for that.
That was beautiful, Corey. I just have to say, I'm like, that is just perfect, spot on. This community is amazing. You're right. We have been through a lot of hardships out there just as a community, and definitely our prayers goes out to everybody that's, been impacted by different things happening on in life. But yeah, like you said, this community has stayed together, has stayed strong overall. And I mean, look at how many people are on the panel today. Just to see that out of this community is fantastic. So yeah, community is amazing. Does anybody want to jump in and say anything about the community? I mean, feel free to, anytime anybody mentions something they're thankful for, to, jump in, piggyback off it, whatever you guys like.
Yeah, for sure.
Don't all, speak up at once, right? We got to be, This is just like the family dinner table, guys. Like, we're having family conversations here. So,
I will agree with that. The community is a big part of my life also. Just, I don't really have much outside of work and home and church. So it's always good to have a group of people that you can chat movies with, or pickups, or be a part of live streams. So I'm definitely thankful for that.
Yeah. There's literally people in this panel right now that I talk to more than people I've known my whole life.
It's so true.
So.
Yep,
100%.
I can confirm.
I agree.
I know and it's so wild to think about, but you're absolutely right. I'm like, how many times we're chatting on streams and Instagram and just out there, and I'm like, yeah, there's like some family members I haven't heard from in a while, but you guys I hear from all the time. So like, this is family right here, extended family right here. Oh, like I said, just an amazing community.
Agree.
Yeah. So we talked about Dave Lowe. It's the first YouTuber that I've met that we lost. That's something that you never know how long we're going to be here. I'm in my early 50s now, so it's like, who knows? Maybe I'll be around another 10 years, 20 years. Who knows? Maybe longer. Who knows? But very very thankful that I'm still here, and thankful that we remember Dave. And, definitely don't forget him, and any YouTuber that we lose or have lost. That's I definitely remember them by just mentioning the names every now and then. Just kind of think about them. That's worth it.
It makes you think, for sure, when that type of stuff happens. And if you're listening out there and you want to get with a community and just start talking movies, don't be afraid to just start posting stuff, because that's the biggest hurdle to do, is just to start. Once you start, you can always just keep on going and at your own pace, but you can continue to talk with people that are in this space too, because there's a whole big lovely bunch to talk to. I come from the TikTok side of things, but I really liked the tight-knit group over here on YouTube. So it's something special for sure.
And what I've learned is, don't be afraid to reach out. There's a lot of people that are willing to work with you.
Yeah.
I'll say that right off, not to go in too much more into that, but definitely when I was mentioning some of the rough spots, definitely was, talking about Dave and everything with that, but he's definitely was one that I hope I can do this for some other people coming into. I know I'm a super small channel, but he was just one that was very welcoming. And he was definitely one that I met him luckily at that beginning stage where I was kind of afraid to reach out to people, and he was like, no, come on the channel, and come on the stream. And I'm like, well, I can't bring anything. I'm not going to give you subscribers. And he's like, I don't care. I was like, I want to talk to you. Let's talk about some movies. And it's refreshing to have some people that just want to hang out, talk movies, and they don't need to gain anything from that conversation other than having a good conversation with you. So
which makes me also think about something else. I know, with I'm very active on Instagram also. Sometimes you'll think, whatever happened to so and so, well, reach out to those people. Maybe they're in a tough spot, they haven't heard from anybody. But as soon as you think about them, hey, go send them a message. Let them know that you're thinking about them, because I think that makes all the difference.
I agree.
Yeah, I did
definitely
that with
agree
Bob
that
last
one.
year. Sorry. Yeah, I did that with Bob last year. Like, what are you doing, Bob? What's happening, Bob? Because I hadn't seen him in a while, and you just check him on. I've done that with some other people. Like, I haven't seen you in a while. Are you doing okay? And then, just people check up, especially during the holidays. Check up on your friends and to see how they're doing. Sorry, Hannah. Go ahead.
Oh no, you're good. You're good. You're good.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I just remember David so fondly too, right? He was my close neighbor, basically, not too far away. Meeting him in person, and just remembering that he was one of the first BluTubers to go on one of my live streams, to accept an invitation, and just kind of add to that confidence of like, hey, if I ask people to show up on streams, people will want to join in. At first when I started this, I'm like, are people gonna respond? Are people gonna want to jump on a stream with me for a couple hours and talk about like how is this gonna work? And so I just remember that very fondly. David just joining in, and then I would be on some of his live streams, and it was just a really good time. So yeah, I mean, just to build off what you guys were saying, like, hey, that people, feel free to reach out to me if you ever want to be on a stream. There's no qualifications here. Not you don't even have to have a YouTube channel or a big social media presence. The only qualification is, do you like movies? If you like movies, get in here, join the table. You
I mean,
are
that
always
helps. I mean, it helps.
Yeah, we talk about movies. Yeah,
yeah, if you like movies, come on in.
yeah. You've had people on here that don't have YouTube channels, and it's like, and they bring something if they're really nice people and they're knowledgeable about movies. Like they're going to bring something to the live stream that people are going to watch. And so they're still entertaining, even though they're not necessarily on YouTube. But some people start YouTube channels after they get inspired. That like Jeff. Like I remember Jeff. We saw Jeff a lot, and then all of a sudden he started a YouTube channel, and there he is. He joined the YouTube community. Just because people invited him, and he felt like he wanted to do that too because it was a lot of fun to do.
Yeah.
All right. Thankfully, cool Johnny.
Well, to kind of piggyback off of what Corey said, I went through a really dark time this past year, and what I'm thankful for is that I got to go to a meetup, and I got to meet Jeff and Tony and Corey, and that really kind of brought me out of my funk. Just hanging out with these guys and one house, and all the stuff that went down, and Tony didn't have to do this, but he did, and he gave me Bloodsport Steelbook, which is the first Steelbook that I was ever given by anybody.
Yeah,
so that's a heck of one to get given for the first one too.
And I offered Tony money, and he's like, you know what, just take it. And it was, I was just incredibly thankful to be around every single one of you who were there, and it kind of really made me it just made me want to like wake up the next day, go forge ahead and keep doing what I'm doing now, because it got really, really bad. And had I not done that, I don't even know if I would be here right now. But yeah, I guess what I'm trying to say is, you guys saved my life.
Oh,
and
Johnny, we
what I'm
love
thankful
you.
We're here for you, Johnny. I'm just happy that you have this community, and so sorry for your loss again. And just those tough, dark moments are, difficult to deal with. But I'm just glad we're here and you got through it, and you are here, and that's just so important.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so glad I got to meet you in person, and loved hanging out with you. But I'll say that group for the meetup, it is great when you get into a spot like that that's outside of, like, we don't care how much money you make or what kind of job you have or what you do. It's like, it's just, we want to hang out and have a good time talking about movies, go movie hunting. It doesn't matter any of the other, junk that usually is the first things people ask about when you meet them. It did not matter. It was just like, hey, it's cool to meet you in person, and let's go hunt some Blu-rays.
Yeah.
So please, someone please lift up the room because I brought it down.
Keep it real.
All right, Steve. Time to
Yeah.
lift them
So
up.
this past week, I got 800 subscribers.
Woo,
I started-
congratulations.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
Hell
I started my
yeah.
channel, and I started in like January 2021. But I was doing I didn't really get serious until like April of that year, and I was doing like music stuff, just kind of trying things out. At the beginning, just to make videos, just to kind of get used to it a little bit, and then I really started to do like movie stuff in April of that year. And so, but I usually I do like one video a week at least, which is it's I like to really think really put some input into it and really write stuff down. And so it's not really the way to do it on YouTube. It's like in YouTube, it's like crank them out. If you can get a video out, and like this video out every day, even though it's just a short video, that's the way to do it. It's kind of don't let people forget about you, because sometimes I think people will kind of if they think you're only going to do one video, they'll kind of put it to the side and maybe watch it eventually, but they're it's not really top priority. It's not like a daily watch kind of thing. So, but I enjoy it so much. It's like I learned so much from YouTube because I love editing videos. That's my favorite part of YouTube, like just putting stuff together and just being creative and just being proud of the video I made. That's the number one thing. And then I love the input that people give to me when they comment about my videos. Steve Harold is a guy on YouTube that has a music channel that I met him because I have a music channel too on YouTube that I don't do a ton with, and I would not recommend that necessarily, having more than one channel unless you have a lot of free time and YouTube is like your thing, like that's all you do. I wouldn't recommend having a second channel. But I met Steve over there. He's a huge Van Halen fan, but he's also went to film school and he loves movies too. So like anytime I post a video, Steve's like always leaves some comment. Like he's one of the first people that leaves a comment, and I think he has like 10,000 subs on his music channel. So it's great that little crossover. He's made movies too, like shorts and stuff like that. And he's quite a bit of knowledge on movies, but he knows a lot about music too. So, but it's great to the fact that he comments on pretty much every video, and it's hearing other people. It's so much fun just to, and most of my comments are pretty positive for the most part. Every now and then you get somebody that will send like a drunk text or something like that, and they'll say something kind of negative. Like I've had, some people have told me like my hands kind of go crazy sometimes, especially when I get too excited. And I've kind of learned to kind of hold a movie up in my right hand and kind of keep something in my left hand to keep my hands from doing the crazy stuff. Because people said, I've had people comment say, "Watch the hands, man." Just and I've deleted those comments.
Yeah. Don't let the keyboard warriors get to you at all, man. The diamond dozen out there. Try not to let it. It's easy for it to happen, but people can say a lot of things when they're behind a screen.
They did the same thing with me too. They still do after all of these years. You talk too slow or you talk too fast. You can't really cater to everybody, so just be yourself. If your hands move, let them move. It doesn't matter.
Right.
If they like what you're doing, they're going to keep returning.
Yeah, but I had that one video.
They will.
One video of I did Cillian Murphy versus Paul Giamatti, the matchup, because I really felt that was a real serious thing. That even though Cillian Murphy, I predicted he would win the Oscar, but I really wanted Paul Giamatti to win, and I made this video, and I was just like really demonstrative, and I was like, I watched the video later, and somebody commented on that one, just said that, your hands are doing this crazy stuff, because I just got really into I really got excited and just kind of got in a groove, and after I watched that video, I was like, I kind of have to watch that a little bit. It is kind of annoying to people. It makes people nervous when they see that. And I'm not normally that crazy like that, but since then, I really kind of watch what I do and kind of hold that movie in the right hand and just kind of watch the left hand. It's just kind of be a little bit more consistent instead of just making these crazy herky jerky kind of videos where just people it really turns people off on it, and some people get really nervous about it and they'll turn the video off. And so I've watched that, and I've been much better about it. Just kind of less excited when I watch a video, because I just my adrenaline kind of starts pumping a little bit, and I think I'm on a roll. and then it just kind of gets out of hand. So, but I'm still thankful for those people, even though I've deleted the comments because it's kind of embarrassing. It's kind of a put down to see that kind of comment, and it's like I'm not going to have that in the comment section, but they were still helpful, and so I still appreciate what they said. I kind of took it from it was a mean spirited kind of comment, but they were right though. I think these people are right, but it's still embarrassing to see that comment out there. You gotta get rid of it. So, but I'm still thankful for those people.
Don't ever worry about it. I always joke that if somebody tied my hands together, I wouldn't be able to speak. I throw my you know how many times I hit my microphone during a video?
Yeah.
I'm like, I gotta start
too.
that over again or whatever.
I always do
throw my
talk
hands.
with
I
our
love
hands.
talking with my hands.
But hey, you got 800 subs. You're doing something right.
I'm
Go
doing
with
something
it.
right, I guess.
And a couple
I
things.
finally, I learned something in editing that people really kind of caught up on. Something I did that a little change in the picture quality. I think has gotten a little bit better too. I've learned more about my editing software, how to make the sharpness go up more, and so it's a little clearer. I've learned some little tricks, and I've used this software for like 2 years. And I'm finally learning all the little tricks and stuff that it can do. So it's fun to learn those little things like that. Oh, that's how you do it, and how you can change the image to where it could be more level if your camera was a little bit off. How to kind of adjust it a little bit to make it make it look more professional. I guess that's what I want to be, more of a professional YouTuber instead of just kind of turn the camera on and there you go.
Not that I know a lot, but a couple things I heard you say there is you're having fun with it. Right. And you enjoy learning, the editing process. So, like, stick with that. Who cares how many? I mean, focus on that instead of like how many videos you're pumping out. I know who am I to say anything, but I love hearing that you're having fun with it and you're enjoying learning the processes and steps that you're working through that with.
Yeah, Corey. Right now, I think you're ahead of me where I was you've been on for like a year or so. You're still ahead of me from where I was at that point. It took me a while to make a jump. Learning how to something like that. I have sinus issues, so I use the Navage. I don't know if you ever used Navage, where it cleans your sinuses out, and so I stutter less. My voice is clearer now that I use that before every video, and now I've noticed that I don't stutter as much, and my voice is more even. I'm not like the voice isn't as weird. So little stuff like that you just kind of pick up on just to kind of make it a little bit better and make it easier for people to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but don't be too down on yourself, Steve. Like, you have great content. I watch plenty of videos from your channel. I think they're very informative. I think they're entertaining. I think you have good insight into movies. Like when you did the Carpenter ranking, I'm like, this is a really good video. So don't be too down on yourself. When you get into the online spaces, you're going to get those kind of comments. It's going to happen. You could be a saint out there and you're going to get those kind of comments. So it's just going to happen. To me, I don't even think about it. I'm like, if it's a threatening, negative comment, it's making this not a friendly film fan atmosphere, block. Very easy to do on YouTube. And I don't stress about it. Move on with the life and just keep rolling with it. And just keep having fun with it. And everybody moves at a different pace too. Yeah. So I wouldn't stress too much about that. As long as you know you're growing in some way, like that's really good.
Have fun with
and
it.
800 subs is really good. I know some people think it's like, oh, you got to have 100,000. That's such a small fraction of a percentage on YouTube. Like it's very difficult for anybody to get that. So like 800 is pretty darn good. I think 100 is really good. Like to get that many people committed that actually click the subscribe because they liked something about you, that's pretty awesome. So
it's crazy to know how many people like your stuff, and you're like, oh my gosh, this many people? Like even like you said, 100 people.
Wow, really?
Like, really?
Yeah.
You like me?
You think about like a room full of 100 people, like
exactly.
It's a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Even 50 people, like it's still like it's mind-blowing.
Yeah.
I'm just happy one person shows up for a live stream or something I do. So
All right, Uncle Tony, take it away.
Yeah, so definitely my first one was to just regard the community. Like I said before, it's really a big part of my life, and I'm thankful for everybody that I've gotten to know and the new people I get to meet, and just the way that we all get to have our conversations. It's just a really big part of my life, and that's one of the biggest things that I'm thankful for.
Absolutely.
Well said.
Thanks.
All right, Jake.
Yeah.
This has also been touched a little bit, but the get-togethers that sometimes we're able to have, like, it's one thing to have a communication online, and it's another thing to where people want to meet each other enough to actually meet somewhere in real life and spend a day shopping for movies, going to watch movies, having conversations about life. It's a blast. I've been grateful enough to have a couple of those encounters, and I am trying to line up more and more just because in my everyday life, that does not happen ever. So whenever I am able to meet up with people that I talk with online and just I have any type of connection with at all, it's always very, very gratifying, to say the least.
Yep.
Yeah, those look so fun, those in-person meetups. I'm like, I got to do more. Like, I've met a few people out there in the wild, but I'm like, I got to do more. Like those meetups where it's just a ton of BluTubers. I'm like, that looks so fun.
Mm-hmm. Highly recommend it if you can get anybody together that's around you, like within a couple-hour drive.
I'll just apologize if I ever start playing the lottery and I win that. You're all going to get bugged by me. I'm just going to fly all the way around the United States and be like, "We're going to buy movies. Come on, we're going."
Canada.
Oh, yeah, in Canada
Yeah.
too.
Okay. I heard that.
We're not going to Canada. No, nobody wants to go to Canada, Tiana.
Oh, Canada's awesome.
Canada sounds great.
Canada's great. The poutine up there is delicious. Very good.
I've been to Windsor before. That's part of Detroit.
April's in the back saying, "I'll go to Canada. I'll go to Canada."
Yay!
Oh, awesome. That was a really good one. Tiana.
I have to say that I am grateful for this year. Sorry, Noah. I'm grateful that I've met like a lot of new people this year. I definitely have met a lot of new people, which is super nice. I am part of the movie crew, which is super cool, which is like a lot of people in here too. But yeah, definitely for sure. I'm just grateful for that.
We're grateful to have you, Tiana.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And Jeff.
So I'm just gonna echo real quick, but so I was standing between Johnny and Corey, and this is something that I'm super thankful for. I was able to find this box set, and it was like a last minute pickup, and I just happened to be able to pick it up between two of the greatest people I've got to meet this year, and I'm just really thankful that every time I look on my shelf, I get to think about meeting Corey and Johnny, because I was standing right between the two of them when I decided to just splurge and get this bad boy. And now I get to look at it on my shelf and think about them and hanging out with them the whole time.
So I remember your wife being right there too. So say she's the second or the first best, and then Johnny, then me.
But I love that. Like those communal experiences are great.
It's a lot of fun. I never thought that.
I'm still mad as hell over the Hellraiser set.
All right, Mark, welcome to the table here. How you doing, man?
I'm good. How are all you guys
up,
doing?
Mark?
Very, very good.
Good.
Sorry I was late. So we're just running down. We're doing our top 5 things that we're thankful
Yeah,
for.
so
Right?
just start with one of them. Anything you're thankful for with the BluTuber community or movies in general, anything like that.
All right, I do have a little stack of movies, and then I have a few, I guess, I don't know, anecdotes, I guess you'd call them. But yeah, I guess the first one is I'm just gonna. I mean, I'm sure there's overlap. Obviously, we're all gonna kind of say sort of similar things, but yeah, just grateful for this community that when I started out, I didn't really like Tim Talks Talkies. He had me on his channel. Tim, there he is. Is he still here? I hope he's watching.
Timing there, Mike.
Yeah.
I hope he's watching this. He had me on his channel before I even had a channel. He was doing he put out something on his Instagram asking if anyone wanted to come on for a Buffy the Vampire Slayer stream. and that's like
Wow.
my favorite show of all time. So I was like, yeah, I'd be down because no one ever wants to talk about Buffy with me. Like, it's impossible to find people to talk about it with. So I like jumped at the chance, and that was one of the catalysts for me like making my channel was how great of an experience that was. And then I've done probably over a dozen of these with Mike at this point, maybe more. So and I just every time if I can make the time for it, it's always so much fun. So I'm glad we have like a full house right now. This is great.
I know we had to fill up the table.
awesome.
We had to make a big table tonight.
So I'm grateful for Tim. I'm grateful for all you guys, and just happy to be part of this, man. It really is. We don't. I don't know about you guys, but like none of my friends like my friends like movies, but not to our extent.
Right.
Nobody at my job really cares. Like, so this is a big outlet for us. I don't know if it's just me or not. But
Oh no, that's totally me too.
Oh.
I'm like making
No,
movie
no,
references and
yeah.
quotes at
Yeah.
work, and everybody's like looking at me like I'm
What?
crazy. Like, what do you
Mhm.
mean? They're like, what are you
Yeah.
talking about?
Is that from
Did
a
you
movie?
did you see Arrow's gonna come out with what's Arrow? And it's like
Yeah.
not saying I know
Oh.
everything, but it's just to have that connection. Absolutely, this is such an outlet. I think that's a
For
common
sure.
theme with a lot of us.
Yeah.
You get to
Yeah.
do that.
I watch
Yeah,
so
Mark.
many live stream replays when I'm at work.
Oh,
it's the
yep,
best.
Yep.
People just walk by me and ask what I'm watching, and I tell them, and they just like continue to keep on
Keep
walking. They do not care less at all.
All right.
But
I
I
did the
love
same
it.
thing.
All right, later.
The longer the better. Oh, this one's 4 hours. Great. This will get me through. This will get me through my shift today.
Here's the afternoon.
Yep.
Yeah, I was going to mark. Like, seasons 2 and 3 of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, like some of the best seasons
man.
ever on TV.
Oh, dude. I mean, 2 and 3 are great. I love 1. It's a little more
One's good,
campy.
too.
It's pretty silly, but I love it for that. I mean, the whole show is fantastic.
Oh
but,
yeah, definitely my favorite.
Don't get me
Season 4.
started on that one.
That's a whole nother stream, right?
Right.
Yeah, right. And we already did that one. But
Yeah,
I'm,
right.
I'm down to do it again.
You could
bro.
revisit it.
It's a
Yeah,
good
season 4 is when Angel
good.
left, and then it kind of tapered off a little bit until the last season.
Angel's
Buffy.
show is great too.
Angel's
Oh,
really
it's
great. Too.
excellent. Yes.
I really like it. I really loved Angel. So that whole universe was great, and they were having crossovers. Shit was wild.
Yep. Cordelia.
Oh man,
Yeah. Prisma
She's-
Carpenter in there.
she still looks
No,
good
it's in
too. All right, don't.
All right, so to get it back on track here, everybody.
Cooler
but
now.
no, just
Cooler
to
now.
jump in with this real quick, if you don't mind. Special shout out to Tim, of course. I remember too, very similar. That was one of the first streaming channels I was on Tim's channel. I think that was even before I was doing streams, so I really wasn't familiar with streams. I think I was on one before 4K D-Ray's channel doing a battle, and then Tim invites me to a stream, and I'm like, okay, yeah, that sounds like fun. And I get in there, and I'm like, I'm ready to battle Tim. And Tim's like, that's not that kind of stream. We're doing something different. I'm like, oh. And I'm like, okay, all right. I'm learning here. I thought every stream was a battle because that was like the first one I was on. That was so it was just super fun. And yeah, just having people invite me onto their channel. I'm like, you want me as a guest? Like,
Oh, isn't it such a nice
amazing.
feeling? I get
Oh my God.
I get so happy, and I always try to make the time for it. Anytime
Feels so
someone
good.
wants to have me on, I'm like, I would love to. Like,
And then Tim gave me the Howard the Duck poster I have behind me with when we were doing a collecting club holiday stream. So every time I walk into the studio, I'm like, ooh, Howard the Duck. And that makes me think of Tim. So shout out to Tim.
yeah, Tim's the man. Great guy.
All right. So getting to our second round here, and we will go with and this one I just thought of today because we were chatting, right? We were talking about all of oh, there you go, Howard the Duck,
Howard the
of
Duck.
course. We were talking about Olive Garden, right, Tiana? We were talking
Yeah.
a little bit about Olive Garden. So I'm like, oh, that made me think back because my wife loves Olive Garden, and we actually had our first date at Olive Garden. We went to Olive Garden and we saw a movie. So to represent, of course, the movie we saw together was Chappie. That was our first movie
Oh.
together. So
Aw.
it was a really good movie because a foundational relationship, marriage built off of Chappie right there. So very cool. And so I got this still book like a couple years later as an anniversary gift. So I thought that was really cool too. So yeah.
My wife and I's first date was to the movie Hot Rod. And
Oh, there you
nice.
go.
similar, we were the
That's
only
amazing.
people in the movie theater, and it was a big
Oh.
test to see if she had like the same line of humor that I did. So
Oh, dude, that's if she doesn't think that's funny, it's like
Deal breaker. Let's go.
You were watching her more than the movie. Be like, what's she gonna think about this? Not to keep on going that line, but I still remember the first movie I ever saw with my wife. We went to the theater and saw Jerry Maguire. So,
Ooh,
Wow.
that's a great
Good
one.
one.
Show me the money.
Yep.
Show me the
money.
super chats, people. All right.
Help me, help you. Help me, help you.
But yeah, I mean, so shout out to the wives, right? People that support us, that go on this crazy movie journey with us. I mean, my wife she's a trooper. She's seen so many dang movies because of me. Not always movies she likes, but she'll go and I mean, oh my goodness. It's like, I mean, for us like movie people, it's like, oh, that's amazing. But not everybody's movie people like we discussed before. So for just to hang in there with the movies is pretty amazing.
I mean, I have a gamer. Like, he doesn't really like movies much. Like, he'll watch movies, but he has to go if I want to go. So I have to drag him. So
Buy him some snacks. Say, come on, I'll feed you.
Yeah, get the food. Yeah, get up and go.
But yeah.
All right, Corey.
All right. I'm going to dive into some more movie things now. So what I'm going to show right now. These were the only two I picked up from this last Barnes & Noble sale at Criterion.
Oh, yeah.
We got Silence of the Lambs and Ghost World. So what I'm thankful for is, even though they didn't start off at a really low price point, I am glad that Criterion movies have not raised prices with the way we've been seeing Steelbook prices going up. And it might happen. I know. But as of right today, I'm thankful for it hasn't. And I was thankful that there was still the flash sales through their website and Barnes & Noble doing the 50% off sales. So I'm thankful that some of those things are still happening. I know they might not last forever, but I'm thankful that they've lasted as long as they have.
Yes.
They better keep it going if they want to stay competitive out there, because that gets so many people exposed to Criterion as having those sales.
I don't know. I saw Jake's face. If he
No, I
Like
meant the
that.
steel books. I made the case about the steel books.
Oh, okay. I thought you were like,
going up
that's
in
not
price,
going to
yeah.
continue.
No,
Corey.
No, the Criterion sale is always a good thing. And
Yeah.
honestly, compared to when we were shopping for them about 6 months ago, their stock is beefy again, beefier than what it was in the summertime. So
Yeah.
I'm assuming that they tried to not sell as much physical media. It was kind of biting them in the butt because they didn't have anything else to put in that area. So now they're expanding again. That's a very exciting thing to see.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm thankful those sales have been going on and those prices have kind of stayed constant, but I know it could change, but it's been nice to see, because it seems like everything else in our lives is going up in price, and it's kind of nice that they still throw those out, even though they're a higher brand. They bring a lot to the table too, so I'm not saying they're not worth it. Usually a lot of the movies have so many extra special features on them that it's really cool to dig into all that, but I'm glad so far it's holding steady with that.
But speaking of Criterion, both ways are the correct way to pronounce. But with Criterion, if you notice the closet pics that they have now, they're taking it on the road. Have you seen that at the New York Museum? They had a truck out, and they had like common. David Cronenberg did one, but they had a lot of just regular movie fans just go in and they give them like 3 minutes, and they give them
one of my friends, Blu-ray Dan, was able to do that.
Yeah.
I was
nice.
so envious of him. It looked amazing, and they literally like take your phone and film you for 3 minutes.
Right.
And just have you go and make your own Criterion closet. It looked like an amazing experience.
I could do some damage in 3 minutes.
Right. I'd have a list.
Give me 2 tote bags.
So unfortunately, we have to pay, and the
Right.
the celebrities get them all for free.
That's why I said I just got 2 this last sale.
So you'd have to get. I think they put them in spine number order. I think so. You have to have a list together and have the spine numbers ready, and know exactly where to go, because they give you 3 minutes, and they give you it's like 40% off per movie.
Yep.
So they're not free. You still have to pay for them, but they give you 40% off. And so you have to really know what you're going to get and get in there and get out, because you can only get like 3 picks, and you have to do it in 3 minutes, and you kind of talk about each movie. But But I was shocked to see David Cronenberg and some like celebrities go before the just regular movie fans. And Cronenberg, I noticed I had looked up like right before I watched the video where he's in. I had looked up Spartacus. Spartacus was on DVD through Criterion for years, and now it's currently unavailable, which means basically out of print on DVD.
Yep.
It's only on DVD. And I noticed that he did his video, and he had Spartacus in hand, and now it's out of stock. So he may have literally gotten like possibly the last Spartacus ever, unless they bring it out on 4K or whatever someday, or Blu-ray. But it was only available on DVD. Which you see some movies like that that are still stuck on DVD, and now a lot of them are selling out, and they're gone forever, unless they get the license back. They're pretty much gone from the collection, out of print. So. But that's amazing that he picked up Spartacus, and he didn't. Obviously DVD was fine. For Cronenberg, for he's like 80 years old, whatever. He'd care less if it's 4K or Blu-ray. He just wanted to get the movie because it's a classic. It's a Stanley Kubrick movie.
Oh yeah.
All right, Johnny.
Okay. Another thing I'm thankful for is the fact that I'm going to hate saying this, but is that we were finally able to get 4 of James Cameron's films finally released on 4K.
Yeah.
Including this last one, which I just recently got in. It was, it's like, Disney owned the first 3, and it was like we were never going to get them, and then we finally got them, and True Lies doesn't look really that good, but just the fact that that Disney said, all right, we're going to go ahead and release these. They really didn't have to do it, but they did it, and I'm glad that I actually have it in the collection, and I'm so thankful that I do have it, whether they look good or look bad. I'm thankful that Disney actually said, you know what, just give to these people so they'll shut the hell up. And now I haven't seen the Terminator, so I don't know what it looks like. But if it looks anything like The Abyss, then I'm going to be very happy.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll jump in and I'd say I love the transfers. These are like my favorite transfers of all time, but I know I'm completely on the opposite side of most people with that. But I love how it looks new. I'm like, I don't like film grain, so get that out of here. So I love True Lies. But go for it, Tony.
I was the same thing. I was going to mention the James Cameron releases. But what Disney did was, since they had to deal with James Cameron to get these releases, they decided to up the prices on all of our steelbooks now. So
that's not.
Thanks a lot.
No, yeah.
Well, that makes sense then.
Don't blame Cameron for that.
Yeah, right.
$70 for the Alien Romulus steelbook. Give me a break.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, people need to stop buying them then. If they keep buying
Deadpool
them,
and Wolverine sold out.
You're supposed to buy Romulus on VHS anyway.
There you go.
But you're right, Jake. Until they stop selling them all out, they're gonna push that limit.
We'll see if Venom 3 sells out.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Steve.
Oh, so yeah. Well, I'm going to get into the movies now. So so we talk about movies that we're thankful for. So my last, I did my thankful video for Mike's challenge, and I talked about how American Graffiti is the movie that if this movie hadn't been successful, then we would never have Star Wars. And so I'm quite thankful for Star Wars, even though I really love Empire Strikes Back a little bit more, but. If it weren't for Star Wars, weren't for American Graffiti, you wouldn't have this, and if it weren't for this, you wouldn't have this. So these are some classic movies from, basically George Lucas only did American Graffiti and this. He directed 6 movies altogether, and he produced this and wrote it. So this is one of the classic movies with one of the greatest lines to ever happen in movie history. The biggest shocking things that when I was like 7 years old in 1980 when I saw this with my mom. And she loved Star Wars too. She loved Star Wars probably more than I did at that time. And when we saw Empire Strikes Back, and we saw the classic line from Vader to Luke, like she was shocked. I remember all the older kids in the movie were in the theater were like stunned for like 2 or 3 minutes. People were just kind of talking to each other and just shocked, just looking at each other, and mouths were dropped. And it's one of the shocking moments. And this was like at the Dollar Theater after the movie had been out for several months, and just the fact that we didn't have social media at the time, people didn't spoil it at that time. Nobody knew, and it hadn't been spoiled yet, so it was very fresh to see Empire Strikes Back. And so I'm thankful for George Lucas and some of the great stuff he's done for cinema, at least for pop culture cinema anyway.
That's good.
Yeah, that movie's so good, and I just saw it in concert last holiday season. They had a orchestra in my town at a Fox Theater playing with the movie, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's freaking amazing. So,
oh wow! Did you see? Was it John Williams? Was at the Hollywood? I think he does stuff at the Hollywood Bowl. Was he in the 90s now? And he's I'm thankful for John Williams too, just the stuff that he's done throughout my life.
Yeah,
but people go to a huge Hollywood Bowl just to see him perform his classic movies, Star Wars and the Indiana Jones films and all that stuff. And it's just amazing that it's a gift that he's still with us, and that he was still doing film scores at 91 years old or so, 92, whatever it is. It's amazing that he's still with us, and that just brings so much joy to people's lives.
All right, Tony.
Yes, I'll go ahead and just do a movie related one. Because I honestly was fixing to pull the James Cameron releases, but since Johnny beat that to me, let me do that. I'm going to pull the Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh wow!
I'm thankful that we finally get this on 4K, and hopefully it leads the way to all of the movies in this franchise getting released, which I would love. I would love to see Freddy versus Jason. All of those films. I want to see them all on 4K.
Excellent.
That's a great one.
Yeah, I hope we get a 4K box set. That would be so cool. That's why I'm not rushing to get the first one. I'm like, I have the Blu-rays. I'm okay with that right now, unless it gets like super discounted. If it gets to like 12, because I think I got the Friday the 13th 4K for like $12 on a Prime Day. I'm like, if it gets that cheap, I'll get it then. But I haven't watched the 4K. Have you guys been loving the 4K out there?
I haven't watched it either.
I love the first one.
I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
I don't want to open mine. It's too pretty.
Oh, you got to open it, Tiana. You got to open it up.
Oh, it's
Gotta watch
so
it.
pretty.
I opened mine. I just haven't watched it yet.
I spent like $60 on it, and I was like, I don't want to open it.
All right, Jake.
I guess since we're talking about physical media releases, I'm happy that some movies are getting released in different versions that are only visible on physical media. The latest one that I have to talk about is Hush.
Oh, nice.
Great release. I just put a review on my channel up there, but it's awesome that the way that Mike Flanagan and Kate Siegel envisioned this movie in the first place was black and white. So they put that version out here, and just on happenstance, while they were in the editing bay watching it, one of the sound mixes was down to where the score was down. You could just hear everything else very clearly. And it took them 5 minutes to figure out, where's the score at? He's like, oh, I can always just bring it back in. But they continued to watch it that way. Another 10 minutes went by, and Flanagan's like, I actually really like the way this sounds. So it's very random that the shush cut on here even exists, and the only way to watch it is on physical media. It's just very cool additions like that. And honestly, I do think it makes the movie a heck of a lot better just being isolated in the woods with no score, no jump scares, anything like that. Music wise, just you can hear every little thing going on. It just elevates everything. And having this was stuck on Netflix forever. I want to say it's on Tubi now. I hate streaming certain movies just because the quality of the stream can go in and out. It's very inconsistent. That's why I love collecting physical media. And the black and white version of this movie was like one of my favorite highlight watches of the year, just because you're finally seeing a director's vision 1,000% the way he kind of wanted it to be. And yeah, there's something very cool to say about that.
Yeah, that was a movie I thought we were never going to see again. I'm like, once it left the Netflix, I'm like, oh, we're probably never going to see this one ever again. And that was a shame because it's such a good movie. But when we got that physical media release, I still haven't picked mine up. I'm still waiting for like a sale time from a Scream Factory, but I definitely want that one just to preserve the movie. You gotta have that one.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen that one? Anybody else see Hush out there?
I have not, but
I haven't seen it yet.
That was my
I've
first time
not
watch.
seen it.
Yeah, I've seen it before, but I'm definitely I
haven't
did
seen
not know anything about the shush part of it. So that's the version I'll be watching whenever
You
I do
should.
watch it next.
Yeah, the black and white I always thought was such a gimmick, like whether it be Black and Chrome or Logan Noir, any of that stuff. But every time I watch it, I'm like, wow, okay, this does look really, really good. And watching a black and white movie on 4K with an OLED, it's just super crispy, and the sound is really the main reason to watch that cut. Tony, I think you'll like.
Okay, good.
All right, Tiana.
I'm going to show off an older movie because it was recommended to me by Fish. So I've been grateful for all recommendations lately from people. Everyone's been basically recommending movies, which is awesome. And that's Fear. I've never seen it before, and I watched it, and I fell in love with Marky Mark even more. Yeah.
But he does like one of these where he like goes into the camera really close in the door. That's one of my wife's favorite movies.
It's so good.
Yeah, Marky Mark's awesome. I think he's an underrated actor. I always enjoy seeing him in movies. So
he turns total psychopath in Fear. It's pretty fun to watch.
Yes,
So
he does.
good.
I'll say it's so much different watching that movie as like a teenager compared to now when I have a daughter.
Yeah.
The movie hits way different. So it's like now it's way creepy. I mean, it was creepy before, but it just it hits different.
All right, Jeff.
So this was I guess this was about 6 months or so ago, but I'm thankful for the fact that Walmart had $5 steelbooks this year.
There you
Yes,
go.
sir.
I don't have a Best Buy. I've never had a Best Buy, so I never even had the option to buy these. And every time I've ever bought from Best Buy and had it shipped, it's been damaged. So I just had already given up on that. So it was really nice. I mean, if they're damaged, they were $5, so it didn't really matter to me. So I'm thankful for the fact that I got some really good titles. That wasn't all of them. These were just some of my favorites. There were some really good ones in there, I thought. And they were all 4K. So
I saw Belly and Chaos Walking. What was the other one?
Requiem for a Dream.
Okay.
Well,
I've never seen any. Well, I watched Chaos Walking after I got it, but I had never seen any of them. So they were blind buys too. But I was just really excited for that because not a lot of Walmarts got that, I guess. So I'm thankful that my Walmart was one, because as soon as I got all of the $5 steelbooks out of the bin, they pulled the bin to the back of the store and it's never been seen again.
Could you imagine if that was just the standard price now? Like $5 steelbook.
I'd need to add on to my house. If they were $5.
I want them all.
I will have them all.
I think what happened though was they were just putting all the damaged steelbooks in that. They weren't intended to selling them at that price, and that's why they just hauled it off after he got done with it.
Oh no, but I mean, like, I lost my entire dump bin after that. I used to have DVDs in it and the works, and as soon as they kind of threw the $5 steelbooks in there, I kind of pillaged through those. About 2 weeks after they dumped those in, they pulled my bin to the back of the store, and I've never seen.
I haven't seen any of ours either.
So even if it's getting rid of overstock or damage, whatever, when you see a 4K steelbook with a digital code for $5, that's where it's like even more of a shocker when you see $65 brand new steelbooks coming out, and you're like, that one was $5. But I know it's a different situation, but still, it's a shocker.
That might be one of the only positive reasons with Best Buy going out of business, is a lot of their
clear out that stock.
I got so many good deals when Best Buy was closing. I'm like, boutique stuff was super cheap. I'm like, oh my gosh. All right, Mark.
All right, I'm gonna show just a movie that I'm glad exists. It's The Holdovers. Technically a Christmas movie. But when I think about like movies that I'm thankful for, these are the ones that come to mind. Like when you're, the feeling when you're like in the theater and you're there to see a movie, and you're excited for it, but you don't know how good it's going to be, and then you're like halfway through it and you're like, oh, I'm watching like one of my favorite movies of all time. And I think that's kind of the feeling I had with The Holdovers. I really like that movie a lot.
It's really good. Agreed.
So like those are the things that I, get, because that's what we watch movies for, is like when you're sitting down for that one movie and you're like, you never really quite know when it's going to happen, but then you're like, damn, that was like, a 5-star movie when you watch it. I don't give them out easily. I'm pretty stingy with them because in my eyes, that's a masterpiece. There's nothing you can change with that. And this Holdovers is 5 out of 5 for me. So that's that feeling, I guess. If I could crystallize that feeling in like some Jurassic Park amber, and kind of just keep it on my shelf, that's something that I'm super thankful for.
That's a great feeling when you're watching something and you're like, oh, I'm watching this again. There's movies that you can enjoy and be like, I'm good now. But when you're like, I'm rewatching this multiple times, that's an awesome feeling.
You always know it when you see it too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and especially when you never even heard anybody talk about the movie, and then you're finally watching Blind by, and man, it's a masterpiece. I love it when that happens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like those moments where you're like, this is why I'm a fan of movies.
Right.
It's right when it's done, you're like, this is why I'm such a fan of movies. It's awesome. Love those moments.
Yeah, it was a big comeback for Paul Giamatti as well. So that's
yeah,
why
you had alluded to it earlier. So I was glad that I grabbed that.
Yeah,
so that's such a special. I wanted him to win too. I put some money on him. I lost that money. Unfortunately.
I think that performance.
Murphy was good, and
Oh, I mean, Killian was great, but like Paul made me feel shit in that movie, dude.
Yeah.
You don't really make movies like that anymore. Like there was just something special and old fashioned about that movie. Something classic right out the gate. Loved it.
That trio of characters is like such an unlikely kind of family dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all
well together.
They all they all act so well in it, and the dynamic is great, and it's very emotional, and and it's like that scene when Paul has anyone. I don't want to spoil it, but there's a scene where Paul Giamatti's character gets real sad about something at a Christmas party, and it's like in that moment, like I feel like we've all kind of been in that position, and like damn, that shit just hit like a freight train.
Yeah,
and if anybody's watching this and has not seen The Holdovers, Christmas is coming up. Perfect time to watch it.
Dude, get yourself some Miller High Lifes and watch The Holdovers, dude.
Yeah.
You will thank me. 4K is coming out, so
you will thank me. You will thank me. It's a great movie.
Format options.
I love the film style that they do with it too, because they kind of leaned into that 70s.
Even the trailer has that sort of 70s feel to it.
Old school logo popping up.
Yes.
That's always
Film grain and the cutting of. But to me, that movie it doesn't really work as much on 4K. I don't think, but like kind of late Night with the Devil with that kind of 70s kind of look. To me, is intentionally made that way by the filmmaker, made that way, and to me, that's kind of what. It goes against what 4K is, which is usually the perfect no film grain and it's perfect pristine for modern movies. But those movies are modern movies that are made to look like 70s movies that are supposed to be that grainy like that. And so to me, those are more like Blu-ray kind of movies instead of 4Ks. But not to say that people won't buy them on 4K, but it's to me they're kind of more intended for Blu-ray.
All right, so back to me for round 3. Gonna make this one simple. Just a super shout out to the members of the channel, of course. Like Tiana is a mega member, so shout out to the members, and then shout out to the audience in general. Let me go back into the comments as we talk about these amazing audience members. We got Van Gool out there.
Hey,
Craig always supporting the channel. I mean, I feel like I talk to Craig on a daily basis. He's always watching the videos, leaving comments, just super amazing. Darkroom reviews. I mean, look at this amazing audience here. It's fantastic. I mean, Film Addiction is right here. Jim's Movie Channel. I mean, oh my gosh. Prince, right? All hail the Prince, right? Amazing. We have the horror cat dad. I once had someone comment about my nail. What?
You were telling me about that one, Larry.
Your nails, like where
high def, man.
Like he held up a movie, and they're just like, "Dude, come on!" Like, okay, whatever. I'm talking about a movie.
I know, right? Oh, speaking of members, we got the bomb in here, Brady Bunch. I know we're very Brady Bunch style right now. Right? Let's see. yeah, just an amazing audience out there tonight. We got Movie Hunter, of course. Evening, everyone.
Hello.
Oh, this is such a great, and you guys are just going on in the comments, right? This is like so many comments. Oh, and I think a new person to the channel. I don't think I've seen this name before. I don't know how to say the name, but welcome to the
Zapam.
channel. Zapam. Okay, there we go. Zapam. Well, awesome. See, look at, and we got Davey in here as well. Amazing.
Davey.
Just amazing. So super special shout out to our audience members and channel members. So, I mean, without you guys, the channel is not possible. I always say that. Like, if there's nobody watching us, then the channel, why does it even exist, right?
Mhm.
We make the content for the audience out there, of course, to enjoy and share in this amazing movie-loving experience with us. So, thank you so much, audience. You're amazing. All right, Corey.
Oh, yeah, it was my turn. Okay, since it was just being brought up here a little bit, I'm going to bring this one out. I was jumping ahead, but I was very thankful for some original movies coming out this year and that they were getting love on physical media. So I have Late Night with the Devil. This was one that I saw in the theater. I barely got out to see it. It was one that just, at least around me, I'm not in a huge market, but it was not promoted heavily where I was at. I only heard about it because of some great YouTubers that I follow that were talking about it and said it's worth checking out. I looked it up in my local theater. I had one night left to go see it. I went to see it. I literally was the only person sitting in the theater watching this, and I had such a great time because it made it even creepier for me because I was I was sitting there all by myself in there. But the love that some movies like this get with the physical releases. So I grabbed this steelbook, the Blu-ray steelbook, but there's an Umbrella release that was like super awesome on it. There you go, right there.
This was my just variety. That's one thing I'm thankful for is like different varieties in physical media. Not only did we get this, we did get it on 4K just in case you do want to see it from Second Sight. Like there's so many great
the movie got like 10 different releases, man.
It's crazy.
So, I know that's the thing though. It's like, it's so crazy when there's a lower budget movie like that gets the love that it did across multiple companies, different formats, different packaging, so you had a lot of different options. I wish I could have got them all. I just have that steelbook right now, but I'm very happy with it. I love how it looks, but I loved the movie and I loved that it was an original. To me, I felt like a very original story and lower budget movie and getting that boutique love on the other end from a lot of different companies. So I'm thankful for that trend happening.
I'll just jump in a little bit more for this. Sorry, this will be my thankful for as well.
Go for it. Yeah.
It's my favorite movie of the year so far. I know there's like a month and a half left or whatever, but I just love, I love late night talk shows. I love the time frame that it was in. I love how it was keeping the focus of the talk show and then kind of going behind the scenes afterwards. Umbrella, part of this Umbrella set was a VHS that just has the late night portions on there with like commercials included and everything. Very, very cool. This came with an air freshener that is still in my car. It's just like very cool stuff with physical media.
Well, what's the scent?
I don't know. I haven't opened it.
It's long gone. Let me tell you, I don't even remember. It smells good, but it's
though.
long gone in my car.
That's cool.
I love how in 2024
I had the picture too up here.
Yeah, very, very cool stuff. Physical media is really going towards the collector and having them in mind, and just having 3 different versions of a Shudder original movie is insane to me. And yet I'm so happy that I can have as many versions that come out for my favorite movie of the year.
Yep.
Yeah, I like the American release of it because it has a commentary with Jack Delroy at the main star. I think the one in Australia, it's like the co-directors of the movie did their commentary, but on this he actually does a commentary with somebody else, like another person that writes like horror reviews, something like that. But that was great. And his number one rival is Johnny Carson. He say can't beat Carson in the ratings and all that stuff. I love all those references in the movie. And I liked it even more the second time I saw it too.
I forgot that this one even comes with like a replica TV guide. Like
I love that.
The amazing goodies that we're getting inside of some of these. The art cards, which are so played out to me. Are stills from a movie. All the cards you get, these are actually good because they have like little interstitials that are kind of doing the commercial breaks, like we'll be right back type of thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like this release just it captured the essence of the movie very well.
Yeah, I agree.
How's it looking 4K though? Do you think
I haven't watched the second sight 4K yet. I just got this a couple weeks ago. So
Yeah.
hopefully watch it by the end of the year.
So I don't know how they could scrub all that out just to make it look pristine like that.
It's second sight though, so in second sight I trust. So we'll see how it goes.
They
Came out with
good
an
job.
amazing.
Amen.
All right, over to Johnny.
All right. Well, Jake kind of stole my thunder there, as I did with Tony earlier. I was going to talk about, different, I guess, covers for different releases. So I'm just going to go launch into. I'm still thankful that we are able to own what we love, whether it's a good movie or I swore I would never bring this one up again, but Killer Goats.
Oh God!
Whether
One of
it's
the worst movies of
good or bad, I'm seriously thinking about throwing this in my new place now. I think this house needs to be broken.
It's like a rite of
in.
passage.
Yep, I'm throwing it.
There we go.
Wow.
Dent that
Or you
sucker.
tell it, dude.
I kind of want to see it just to see how bad it is. I'm like, is
You
it really
don't.
that bad?
No, you say that, Mike,
It's
but
bad.
you don't. It's not so bad. It's good. It's just
It's saving
bad,
us.
and you don't want to.
It's
I brought this over
bad,
for a
bad.
friend get together to watch at their place because I'm like, I've heard nothing but bad things. It's going to be a fun time. It's not. It's
So get
terrible. Please do not watch this movie ever.
No, it
Take
isn't.
your movie and get out of here, sir.
Man, I feel like
it
it's
is
a
so
bad
bad that
movie.
my wife flat out refuses to watch it.
About with half an hour left,
But
we
yeah,
turned
I'm
it
just
on
thankful that we're
2x speed just because we wanted it to be over. It was so bad.
Wow.
Oh yeah, it's very bad. But
Mhm.
yeah, I'm just thankful for the time being that we're still able to buy the things that we love, own the things that we love.
Mhm.
Oh yeah,
True
and
that.
hopefully we can keep it going.
Johnny killed the room
strong.
again.
I know
Good
we're all
point,
thinking what's gonna happen in 10 years. Hopefully not.
Yeah.
Well, if they keep making those amazing releases, like shown with like Late Night with the Devil, I mean, they're gonna cater to the collectors, I'm sure. So there'll always be that collecting niche market, if anything.
Yeah. Just like Trick or Treat, if you saw it today, Synapse is going to release it on. You can get it on 4K and Blu-ray by itself instead of having to buy the book and the sound.
Oh yes, the cheaper edition. Those are the ones
It's
I go
cheaper.
for.
It's like $34.95 for the Blu-ray right now, and $44.95 for the 4K.
I have that big set, and I have not opened it because I saw the stupid prices it was selling for. I'm like, what? This is a blind buy too. What if I open it up and I don't like it? And I just spent this much money, and I could make this much money off of it. Like that's the only release that I've gotten that I can think of that I'm like, should I open this? Like I'm nervous about it.
Stream it.
So the only problem with all these different choices coming out is I just recently bought Last Stop in Yuma County and
Good
really
movie.
enjoyed it. Loved the
Good
movie.
movie.
Somebody just posted something that Arrow might be putting a release
wow.
of this possibly.
Umbrella's got a release. Umbrella's got a release coming out.
That's what I thought, Tony. Yeah, sounded
So
familiar.
so I might buy it again. But
Yeah,
we'll see what
I
they come
really-
out with.
I really enjoyed it.
Oh, it's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
But when you get those choices like that, I love that they come out with that. But I was like, I just bought that. and then you
It's
see
always-
like 2 other deluxe sets come out.
It's always gonna happen. You
Yeah.
can't let it like inform unless it's like Universal. They're like the culprits of the most, right?
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where they're always doing that. But like I don't like to let it inform my dislike with holdovers. Shout is doing did a 4K. It might be out yet. I'm not
Really?
sure, but they have a 4K of this coming out. But it's like no new features that I saw.
Mhm.
It's a new movie. I don't know that it benefits too much from 4K. So it's like
Right.
you kind of just have to make your peace with it and move on.
I'm happy with the Blu-ray.
Yeah, that's what I'm
enough.
saying. I'm happy with Blu-ray most of the time.
I agree with you. The big thing would be is if they're like throwing out some like awesome like commentaries or special
Yeah.
features in there
Yeah,
that
I didn't have commentary.
that's what I'd be buying it for. Yeah.
For sure, because that's the stuff that actually like matters. It's
Yeah,
like,
something different than what you have in your hand,
Exactly.
besides Blu-ray to 4K.
make it worth my my while. Unless it's a
Yep.
movie you absolutely love and you're like, I want every release
Yeah.
of this.
And you get those. Yeah.
Which we all have that. We all have that one movie where we're like, I don't care, I'll buy
Yep,
this.
I'm buying every version.
Or maybe we have
Awesome.
10 of those.
Yeah.
It depends.
I think I own 10 different versions of The Thing. It's my favorite movie.
There you
of all
go.
time.
There you
Any
go.
edition I
Yeah.
can find, I'm just gonna grab.
Yep.
I think I have like 4 copies of Halloween. So that's probably my example. I'll buy every one of them.
We all got
All
'em.
right, Steve.
Well, so it's almost Christmas time, and I saw that Cinema Dave Media put this in his Christmas section recently in his video. But it's Die Hard. It's a movie I have to watch every December. It's the only time I ever watch
Oh
it.
my gosh! Did you just pull up Die Hard?
I love Christmas. I saw it in the theater last year in December. Like this is officially a Christmas movie, and Dave had all his Christmas movies laid out, and he had Die Hard mixed in there. I thought there it is. It's official. He's got it in his official Christmas section. So it's a Christmas movie. That's all I got.
I 1000% agree. I feel like people
Yes, it is a
who
Christmas
don't
movie.
think I feel like people who don't think Die Hard is a Christmas movie have not seen Die Hard recently enough, because that sucker has Christmas sprinkled all over it.
Mike disagrees.
I'm assuming, yes.
Oh, Steve, you were talking about getting bad comments. You're going to be getting them now, man. Somebody's going to be coming after you.
Yeah,
No, I'm kidding.
It's hotly debated. I've never considered it like a super Christmas movie. Like, to me, it's the least Christmassy you could go to still even consider it kind of Christmassy. So
Christmas music. It's in L.A., so
Yeah.
they don't have traditional like snow. Like
It's
we
at
have
a Christmas
snow here in
party. Come
Indianapolis.
on.
Guys,
yeah,
Music throughout.
Like Christmas.
We can't do this.
Now have a machine gun. Like, it's all over the.
We can't do
Violence
this
for
right now,
Christmas
guys.
Eve. Yeah.
Irregardless, it's a great
My
movie.
wife
This
is
is an
6 feet
very
away
good.
from me, and she says it's not a Christmas movie.
Oh,
Oh,
Need to
April.
This
Well,
is
good.
this is
I'm
an
gonna-
entire
yeah.
other stream right
Yeah,
here.
exactly.
I know I've already done a stream like this. You got to check out the holiday
you're jumping in
movie
now.
split the room debating
Yeah, I forgot
game
about
stream
that.
we did.
Oh, yeah, I was on that one.
Uh,
Go to my grave saying it.
I think
Die Hard
Jake's
is a
right,
Christmas
though.
movie.
I'll go to my grave.
I need
Watch
to
your
rewatch
mouth.
it before I can.
get over there, woman.
I told you never to talk to me like that in front of people again.
April, you're embarrassing me in front of my friends.
My friends are watching.
Now she just threw the Killer Goat Steelbook at me.
For all we knew, you threw it at her. I saw it leave
It's
the
a
screen,
perfect
but
punishment getting
Yeah.
thrown.
I
Killer
threw it
Goat
across
at
the room, and then she's like, "I'm gonna teach you, fat boy." And she just chucked it at me.
So Christmas.
All right, Tony, go for it.
So my next one would be finally, after all of these years, getting the Hitcher
oh, nice.
on physical media.
Mhm.
Nice.
Yes. Plus, we got the nice second sight edition.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, I've always loved this film, and it seemed like we were never going to get it. And so finally in 2024 we did, and I'm thankful for that.
Oh man, I'm just looking at this.
I want to
comment.
get that. I want to get that one. I have not picked that
Yeah.
up yet. I want to get that one.
I take issue with that comment, but I don't want
I
to.
know.
I
No,
don't wanna-
I'm with you there, Mark. I'm like, come on, you're telling me that's the only time they can't have lower security? Let's be real. I'm
Well,
with you.
I don't want to do this. I'm sorry.
That's
No,
okay.
because if I do that, we're just gonna keep doing this.
That's okay. They can read your
True.
comment. It's there.
Yeah.
It's there, audience, if you want to read the comment right there.
I'm just saying.
But I still need to see that movie, The Hitcher. I've actually never seen that one, but
It's
I've heard
so
really
cool.
good things.
I've
I've seen
never
it, but it's
watched
been a
it.
long. That was like VHS days. I saw
Right.
it, but
Mhm.
And there's
I
a
got the-
remake, right? So that was
Yeah, I think I saw it
That
on
is a
HBO.
remake, yes. Mhm.
Which
I was-
one do you guys prefer? Classic, remake?
classic.
Yeah,
I've never seen the remake.
The classic, but the remake is good.
the original.
Ooh, okay.
This movie is such like a psychological movie, and I was not expecting that going in. I was expecting more of like a slasher type element movie, but this is like a cat and mouse game almost, just like a predator playing with his prey before he goes in for attack. It's a great movie. Highly recommend it. I have the Umbrella version. Tony, is the 4K Hitcher from Second Sight worth picking up as opposed to having the Blu-ray?
For me, it was, but it may not be for everybody. But yeah, even with this umbrella box set. It's got
Mhm.
that nice slipcover edition on the
Yeah, great
inside.
artwork. Mhm.
Yeah, this is out of 500. These are 500 of these made. I like low number.
That's cool.
I do too. And you and
Yeah.
I both have one, Tony. Congrats.
Yes.
Mhm.
All right, Jake, you're up.
I actually win already after Corey.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot. Yeah, totally. All right, Tiana.
All right. I am going to say that I am grateful for remakes.
Oh yeah, I love remakes. Let's see those. I like a
Interesting.
good remake. I am
So
a remake
I have
person.
Beetlejuice,
Mhm.
Beetlejuice, and then I have the Haunted Mansion.
Uh,
Oh, I love that movie. That
I
movie's
love
so
the
underrated.
Haunted Mansion. It was fun. It's not the greatest, but it was super fun. Like I enjoyed a lot of the remakes for sure.
I'm that type of person too. I love remakes. I love sequels. Like those are my types of movies. I know most people are like opposite. I only like the original, but I like a good remake and sequel.
I like
That's
I like
that's what I
everything.
watched this October was as many horror movie remakes as I could. And just because they get such a bad rap, I'm like, there's got to be good ones. And there are some very good ones, but there's also a lot of stinkers out there as well. So
Yeah.
it's a very
That's
mixed bag,
true.
but there are some diamonds in the rough for sure.
I would say it's like 70-30
Yeah.
bad remakes, and then 70% are bad, and then maybe there's like 30% that are maybe 60-40, because there are some really good ones out there for
Mhm.
sure.
See, I'm
No,
opposite.
they're-
I'm like 70 good, 30 bad.
Right.
And I think it also just depends on what you watch first. I know that there's been instances where I watched the remake first and then watched the original. I'm thinking, which one do I like the best? So
Yeah.
I think it really just depends on how you watch them.
That makes sense because I go back to watch a lot of the originals. Like sometimes I
Mhm.
will have seen the remakes first. Like I got to go back to see the
Yeah.
original. So maybe that's.
I mean, I don't know if anybody's ever seen True Grit, but the remake of True Grit was excellent.
Yeah.
And then I thought I'm going to watch the classic. Well, man, I was bored to death.
Right.
But
yeah.
and, it's happened quite a bit, but still, I always appreciate the original because we wouldn't have the remake without it.
Right.
Yeah.
Like the Blob.
The cool thing about remakes is
Oh
like
yeah, the Blob.
when you can iterate on it and do something different.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
the Suspiria remake is really good, and
I
it's
thought The Invisible Man did something like that too.
Oh, that was
exactly
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
So
good.
it's very different, but it's playing in that same sandbox. But then you also have like the Platinum Dunes era where it was like they were remaking anything like, but there was also good ones in that era. So, but like Prom Night, very bad. The Fog is very bad, but then Texas Chainsaw Massacre is very good. So
Yeah.
Hills Have
yeah,
Eyes.
Texas
I really,
Chainsaw 03 is really good.
I really like the Hills Have Eyes remake as
I do
well.
too. Mhm.
So you just
Speaking of Dune remake was great.
Yeah.
Dune remake was very good.
Compared to
Yeah,
the original.
that original is an acquired taste. I would
Talking
say.
about a sleeper.
It's it was a little too ambitious, I think.
Yeah.
And
the
see, that's
original,
why
yeah.
I'm a fan of remakes. It's like, hey, if they make a remake and you like it, cool. Now you have multiple movies to watch. If you don't like it, cool. Just move on, go back and
Might
rewatch
wake
the
you guys
original.
up.
Some movies can benefit from a remake better than others, is
Yeah.
what I would say.
Especially like you said, Mark, when they kind of turn it around a little bit, make it a little bit different,
Yeah,
kind of makes it its own movie. So
because if
I
you're
like
just
that.
running it back, you're just running back the same plays. Well, I don't really see much merit in that. But
Right.
if you can take something and be like, "This is cool," but what if it was like this instead?
Yeah.
Oh, you got the crow right
Oh,
there.
yeah.
The Crow.
I
That
can't-
was
I
one
didn't watch
remake I did not like.
I still haven't seen the
I haven't
remake yet.
either.
I've heard people don't like
I
the
haven't
original
either.
remake, but-
Even I don't like it, and I love remakes.
Don't.
So.
Just
No,
don't.
I've never seen it. But yeah, the Dune.
Still in the
Dune
damn
Part 1 and
plastic
2.
wrap.
Yeah, but Denis Villeneuve showed why you have to make that in two parts, even though some people were kind of bored with
Oh,
part
man.
one. And part two was like, part one's all exposition, part two is all action, and you can see why David Cronenberg couldn't do that in 2 hours. He couldn't tell that story in 2 hours because you just had to kind of skip over things, especially like the end of the movie. He has to really skip over a lot of the battle stuff.
It's a
The
long
last
story.
hour
It's a long
of
story.
Dune Part
It's a
2.
big book.
Yeah.
The last hour of Dune Part 2 totally justifies the 4 hours of exposition dominoes that they're stacking
Yeah.
up because they
Yes.
all fall down, and it's like one of my favorite movie going experiences this year, just watching that.
Oh
last-
yeah.
Mm.
I like
Has
part
anyone-
one though.
has
I know
anyone
people
started
hated
the
part one.
show?
Mm-mm.
I've not
Has
seen the
anyone
show.
started the show
I've
yet?
heard such terrible things. I'm like, I don't
Oh,
even want to try
really?
it.
I've heard you
Yeah.
have to be a mega fan of just doing like the books and everything to get all the
Oh, I
lore.
haven't
That
seen
Well,
they're
that's
spinning
cool
away.
because if it's good, if book readers will get a lot out of it, then I think
Yeah.
that justifies its existence. Because if the alternative is that it's just some crappy show that HBO put out because they wanted to franchise the show, but if it actually is like really accurate, then I think that's cool.
Yeah.
All right, Jeff.
So I'm just gonna echo Tony with the Hitcher.
Oh shit!
I actually had never heard of Second Sight, and I didn't realize who Second Sight was, but I found them on Facebook in like 2021 when they announced they were remaking, when they announced they were the ones working on the remaster for this movie. When they originally announced they were only doing a Blu-ray because the negatives were too damaged to do a 4K, and then it became a 4K project. I watched this movie twice back to back as soon as I opened it. I watched it on the 4K. I turned around and watched the Blu-ray disc. I've watched all the special features on this. This is the release of the year to me. There's nothing wrong with the transfer. It looks beautiful. I've watched it on like several different 4K TVs. It doesn't matter if you have a high end or a low end TV. Second Sight did amazing with this. And something that I don't hear anybody talking about is there are 3 short films as special features on this.
Love that.
And the Blu-ray special features are the exact same as the 4K. So if you don't collect 4K and you just want the Blu-ray disc, you lose nothing.
Right.
You get all this. They put every special feature on the Blu-ray disc. This is what I'm thankful for this year for physical media, pretty much. So
Nice.
I've had to echo that because we never thought we'd get anything better than that Snapper Case DVD. We were stuck with that for almost 20 years.
Yeah.
For a film that deserves so much better.
And Jeff's watched it for everybody.
I
Every
have.
TV.
If you check my letterbox, it's logged like 5 times.
I feel like I kind of watched it a little bit now.
Yeah. I went to a game party, and one of my friends that kind of dabbles with movies a little bit, he was like, "Hey, I see on your letterbox you watched The Hitcher. Do you like it?" Because I had watched it that many times. But it's really good, and it's a really good release for it.
That's what I love about combos, because if it comes with a Blu-ray and a DVD, or Blu-ray and a 4K, you're guaranteed to watch it at least twice, and you're going to enjoy it more if you watch it a second time. That's why I love commentary. I watch the movie and watch it again with commentary. Just you get a lot more out of it that way. Rewatching it back to back or back to back nights or the same night.
And I can't remember the name of it, but there's a short film on here that was this director's first movie, and it's about 32 minutes, and it's so creepy. Like you can see where he got all the vibes for The Hitcher from it. It's kind of like a reverse role where it's kind of like it's a bad cop. So but it's another one of those like psychological thrillers, and it's just on the disc. So
Right.
I'm really glad that release really paid off for all the diehard fans, because I know it was in like such turmoil for so long.
And it took so long. They just kept and all of the updates on Facebook for years were just, oh, it's delayed. It's delayed. Oh, it's almost an impossible task. So I was really happy that this was one that it came out and it came out correct.
So I'm going to talk about this movie. I'm fairly certain at least someone else is going to mention it at some point. So after I'm done, feel free to like jump in and we can all kind of talk about this now. But it's Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. I mean, this is like kind of the Thanksgiving movie. There's not a lot of competition, I would think. I don't think there's a ton. There's not too many Thanksgiving movies. But
Killing one.
yeah, well, like I mean, good movies. This is, I mean, this is one of those movies that is like the equivalent of like putting a warm blanket on, and it's just the cinematic equivalent of that. It's so good.
Those aren't pillows.
John Candy, yeah, great.
Yeah, but I mean, these two are so great together, and you just can't help but love John Candy. He's so great in this. It's just got that John Hughes sort of feel to it. You don't get. I feel like people are afraid to be like sentimental anymore. Like and like John Hughes movies really like lean into that, and they're like, no, like it's okay to have emotions and stuff.
Yeah.
And that's what I really love about that movie is like Steve Martin kind of like warming up to the idea like maybe this guy could be my friend, you know. And then it's just it's a nice movie. Makes me feel
Steve Martin's great in that movie. I recently watched The Jerk last weekend. I forgot I had not seen that in so long, and that movie's like there's a lot of funny stuff in the movie. It just doesn't hold up that well to me, even though I watched it since I was a kid. But that movie, like he's really great. I've always liked Steve Martin, but you know, The Jerk just has a lot of memorable moments, but they don't fit together extremely well for me. I don't know how other people feel about The Jerk if you've seen it recently, but it just hasn't stood the test of time over 45 years as much as it did when I was a kid, which I liked it so much more back then. Watching it again now after so many years, it doesn't work as well for me. But some people may feel differently, but it's still there's a lot of classic lines in that movie and moments too, but it just hasn't stood the test of time extremely well.
I will say Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, that it does hold up though. That's one that I can watch that every single year, and
it's required.
This is perfect time. Yeah,
I should actually probably watch it in the next couple of days.
I was already. That's why I had it sitting right here. I got a couple movies that I'm planning on watching here soon, and I just got the Blu-ray steelbook of it because that was my upgrade of it. I know there's a 4K, but it was really cheap. But
yeah, we're having Friendsgiving at my buddy's house tomorrow. So I think I'm gonna bring that over and just have it on in the background.
That's a great movie.
That's fun.
Yeah.
All right, getting into round 4 here, and I know we already talked about Criterion a lot, but I brought a lot of Criterion titles, but these are actually all Albert Brooks titles. So if you guys haven't seen any Albert Brooks films yet, what I like about Criterion is film discovery, where you get to learn about these directors maybe you've never heard of before, because I've never heard of Albert Brooks until I watched Defending Your Life. I'm like, this is genius. I love this comedy style. It's making me laugh out loud. It keeps up to today. So let me go check out some more titles. I'm like, oh, Broadcast News, so good. Real Life and Mother. I'm like, oh my gosh, Mother was brilliant. Like, that reminds me of my mom. This is fantastic. So just that film discovery I had with Criterion, I'm like, oh my gosh, Criterion just had a great year. But yeah, really appreciate Criterion for bringing those movies I guess renewed light to younger audiences. So that's really cool.
Yeah, Albert Brooks, he worked in SNL like the first season. He did like the shorts, the digital shorts. Been working since the 70s, and his brother was Super Dave Osborne. If everybody remembers, the stunts. That was his brother. Both named, I didn't realize that. Einstein. Like his name is Albert Einstein. His real name, but he changed it to Albert Brooks. Obviously. His brother was Super Dave.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Super Dave was he was on Curb Your Enthusiasm. He was on there. He died like a year or two ago, I think. But that was his brother, the older brother. Yeah, he's always been funny.
Yeah, there's a great documentary on Albert Brooks. I want to say it's on HBO a few years ago. Super solid, because I didn't know anything about his filmography really either. And yeah, it's worth checking out.
Yep.
Hearing Mike talk about him makes me want to check him out, because I don't think I've seen any of those movies that he mentioned.
Oh my goodness. I would say start with Defending Your Life. Like that one.
Yeah.
You really like. So
that one's really good.
But see, that's what you're talking about, Mike, this whole discovery thing, because now you're talking about him, and now I want to see, because you seem so interested in it. It's like, well, there's got to be something to that, you know?
He had a role in Drive too, didn't he?
Sure did. He was
oh my God, it's that guy? Okay.
Yeah, the bad guy.
That's where I know him from.
Yeah.
Is that.
See, and I haven't seen Drive yet, so now I'm like, I want to get Drive.
You should. It's a role like he's never ever played.
That's what I was going to say. It's a departure. From what you're talking about, you like there, just know it's a departure from that type of character.
The fact you haven't seen Drive is wild, by the way. That's
it happens.
I mean, I feel like it's
it's not a franchise. It's not a superhero movie, so
it's not a remake. It's not a remake. So
it's not a sequel. It goes under the radar sometimes.
The Sony 4K came out this year for Drive. It's a great looking steel book. So
I'm waiting for that price to drop. I'm like, get under $30. Come on, let's do it.
If anybody's going to be watching Mother, be sure you're not watching the Jennifer Lawrence Mother.
Yeah,
very different movie.
That one has an exclamation point at the end. Mother. Don't watch Mother. Just watch Mother.
I hate that movie. I think it's.
I do too. I hate Mother with a passion.
I went to see that movie with my friend and his girlfriend, and she left in tears. It was an awful decision, and it was between that movie and something else. I don't remember what the alternative was, but we literally were like, Mother looks good. It looks like a cool horror movie. It's not. It's not a horror movie. It's not cool. Sorry if you like it, if you're watching this, or if you're in this panel and you like it. It's Darren
Very
Aronofsky.
artsy.
Very hit or miss.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
But yeah, Taxi Driver Albert Brooks was he worked in the political campaign office.
Mm-hmm.
He's in that movie, and so it's 76. Yeah, no, no.
All right, Corey, you're up.
All right. This was already talked about, but I'm going to put a little different spin on it. But we had Nightmare on Elm Street, the 4K of this. But I know there's been other years that this has been available too, but just how easy it's getting to get imported versions of movies into the United States. Companies, this one I got through Orbit DVD.
Yep.
They're great to deal with, and
Orbit's great. Super
Orbit's
fast
the
shipping too.
bomb.
oh, super fast. I
Yeah.
cannot believe how quickly I get the stuff when they
Yeah.
ship it out. Everything's packed so well, but they just the ease of getting that, and for the price and everything, it's just so this set though too, I'll just say I'd love everything about it. You're talking about low numbers. I was kind of surprised with this one. I got 43 out of whatever it was, 20.
It was a lot, wasn't it?
It was like 25,000 or something. I don't know. So there's a lot of them, but just the ease to get some of these releases that are not U.S. releases to get them into the U.S. Having some companies like Orbit DVD that they kind of specialize in some of those where they get. I don't know if they just. Sorry if you hear my dog barking. They have some big group buys where they just get a load in, and it's amazing how quickly you can get it, and for the price you can get it from them. So I'm very thankful that you can, it probably wasn't that long ago where you had to pay an arm and a leg to get anything that was not a US release, a version that was from the UK or Australia or whatever. So it's very cool that we can get our hands on them so easily.
And even for US. Oh, you go. Oh, dang. Yeah, you did some damage to me.
The thing that they do with putting them in the box now to help with the shipping. Warner Brothers has been doing this here lately. I love it because you don't hardly ever get damaged steelbook anymore.
I was gonna say my Nightmare box set came in one of those. Yeah.
On the ground because they don't want to throw it away. I just like it.
Right.
So that's the thing. Like the box set with the steelbook came in that box, and then Orbit wrapped that and put it in another box to ship. And I was like, "There's nothing happening to this thing by the time it gets to me." So, very cool that it's like you said, it can arrive in great condition and for the price that you can to get your hands on things that normally would have been pretty hard or pretty expensive to get a hold of.
Yeah.
All right, Johnny.
All right, this one's going to be kind of tough, but I'm going to just go ahead and do it. It has nothing to do with people in the community or anything, but for those of you who don't know, I did lose my father about 3 weeks ago. And what I'm thankful for is that I had, 46 years with him, and I still remember the first movie that he pulled me aside and said, we're going to watch this together. And it's 48 Hours.
Nice.
I still remember when this first came out.
Hell yeah.
He said, "You know what? We're gonna let your brother go out and play, and you and I we're gonna sit down and we're gonna watch this." And my mother didn't approve of it too much, but it's my dad. He's gonna say he's gonna watch whatever the hell he wants to watch or whatever I want to watch. And so I'm thankful that I had 46 years with him, and I'm forever grateful for him introducing me to movies and for giving me the name Johnny. So that's what I'm thankful for.
Yeah.
Those memories are so huge, man.
Yep.
Like the ones that you make over a movie with your dad. My stepdad used to he'd wake me up after all my siblings went to sleep, and he'd be like, "Come on, we're gonna go watch Spawn." And I'm like, "What's Spawn?" And and Spawn is not a good movie, but I love Spawn now, and it's because of those memories. So we'd watch shit like Mortal Kombat and Highlander, and he kind of formed my movie taste, and that's what isn't that so cool?
See, my dad was never a big movie guy. He was always like an outdoorsman type of person. But like in the dead of winter, my mom went somewhere for the weekend, and it was my brother, my dad, and I. We went to the movie rental store, rented the entire Back to the Future trilogy, and watched it all in one day. Like that's still one of my favorite movie memories ever. And now, as we get older, we don't get to see each other that often. We make it. We have to at least see one movie in theaters together just to have a good time or reason to get together. We saw Bad Boys Ride or Die this year. Just perfect dad, bro. We saw it on Father's Day. Just that action type movie.
That's a dad movie. Yeah, for sure.
It sure is. And yeah, that was going to be my next one too. Is just like watching stuff with family and making connections with them. Like my oldest is finally at the age to where she is wanting to like explore different movies with me. Like we watched Beetlejuice because the second one came out, and because of that, we went down a rabbit hole of like late 80s type of like Beetlejuice-ish movie, like Addams Family and Little Monsters, that type of thing. And she enjoys watching that stuff, and I enjoy trying to like broaden her horizons with movies. And there's just something about the art of film that can do that. It just it's a great connection piece for sure.
Yeah.
Sharing it with family is the best.
It's crazy. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go for it, Mark.
I was just gonna say how my nephews, I tried to show them some like gateway horror movies, and I showed them Ernest Scared Stupid, which is a movie that's still like, dude, and like these kids are on an iPad like 8 hours out of the day. But when Ernest Scared Stupid was on, they were loving it, dude. They were eating it up, like, and it's crazy. And it's like, and now my nephew does like Ernest P. Worrell impressions where he does that like stupid face, and he like does that laugh, and it's like, who would have thought that, you know, what was his name in real life? I'm sorry, I'm blanking right now.
Jim Varney.
Jim Varney. Yeah. Who would have thought that a kid born, you know, in 2015 would be doing a Jim Varney impression? You know, it's like it's so crazy. And that's the power of movies, man.
Yeah, I was just going to say, it's amazing the emotional connection you can make with movies with people. Like I have a lot of important people in my life that I have at least one movie that I can like specifically remember a moment with them, something that was happening with them, like what you were saying there, Johnny. It's an amazing memory to be able to have. You can go back and watch that movie and remember that, you know, sitting down and him saying like, hey, we're going to watch a movie, you know, and you're going to do that. But a lot of the important people in my life, I can like, there's, for whatever reason, like the first movie I ever saw with my wife, or the movie I thought my daughter was going to love and scared her to death, you know, or, you know, there's like these things, but every time you see that movie, you have that emotion, you have that memory of them. And it's an awesome thing that the movie can bring out.
You're going to think of that person.
Yeah.
Johnny, I'm sorry for your loss, man. I lost my grandfather in September. And that was pretty hard on us. So
Thanks.
Yeah, just sucks, you know. But
that was the one cool thing about my dad is he's like, I don't care what you see, but just enjoy it.
Right.
It's not, dude. Yeah, like my like I don't know, something about feeling like you were doing something you weren't supposed to do too was cool. Like when he'd like wake me up after everyone else was asleep, you know. Like that's a special memory in and of itself, and then to get to spend it like watching a movie, it's like so cool. Because it's like anything is better than having to go to bed, you know, when you're a kid.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah. So my dad's 77. I talk to him almost every day. It's like,
that's awesome.
I appreciate him every day. Like, and he lives right down the road from me now too. So
that's awesome too, man.
You know, you definitely have to appreciate your dad. You know, appreciate your parents while they're still around. You know, for sure. My mom's 71. Yeah, definitely have to really enjoy that they're still with us. You know, that appreciate that every day. But
100%.
Yeah, but I was going to talk about this movie that I watch at least twice a year, especially around 4th of July weekend or during 4th of July. I always watch Jaws, and getting this on 4K too is like the picture and sound. This is so great that chemistry between those three main actors in the movie. It's something I'm always thankful for this, that Steven Spielberg made a movie like this that's been timeless. That's what it's going to be. It'll be 50 years old next year. So
damn, next year's the 50th, huh?
Yeah. You know, Richard Dreyfuss and Robert Shaw and Roy Scheider, just had that chemistry with those three guys. They never had that in the other three, especially the fourth one.
Yeah.
Those are cash grab movies.
Those leads are also great because they're also like they're all such like very defined kind of guy. Like they're all very different from each other, but they're all like super masculine in their own way. You know, and then they just create a super cool dynamic.
Yeah, the two guys that hated Robert Shaw's character.
Yeah, no,
they
that's
were
really.
I
think they really hated each other in real life, right? Dreyfus
I
and
when Roy Scheider didn't, because
I thought Dreyfus and Shaw like actually didn't like each other. Like the on-screen thing was like, it mirrored real life. I thought I don't know. I might not be right about that.
I know that.
Yeah, they didn't. I don't think they really liked each other.
Yeah, I remember hearing that, which made it cool.
For Jaws 2, Richard Dreyfuss was doing Close Encounters, so I don't know if he wanted to do that. Spielberg didn't want to do the second one, but this is the original, And if you've ever read the book to Jaws, it's completely different from the movie. Like, the Richard Dreyfuss's character has an affair and all that stuff, and just completely different kind of movie. And but just this one I have to watch at least twice a year, and it's just it's one I never get tired of. So for me, that's something I'm definitely thankful for.
Yeah, it's a summertime classic right there.
Mm-hmm.
So you're gonna get ready for some big 50th anniversary box set coming out next
year.
year.
You know it's coming, man.
They're gonna release it again. Like people buy it again.
It's only gonna be $300, and they're gonna play art with it and everything.
Who's a real fan? Who's gonna play?
It's like what's left to add to that?
They're gonna give you the VHS. They're gonna give you the
banner that's a replica shark.
Life-size buoy. That's what's happening.
Yeah.
I actually never been more tempted in my life to buy a Lego set than there's the Jaws one they came out with. That has the boat and the like coming up at it. I've never been so tempted to buy one of those expensive Lego sets in my life, but
my wife saw the Jaws Lego set, and she's like, "Oh!" And then I showed her the price, and she said, "No, we're good."
She was like, "Oh no,
dude, those high end Lego sets get crazy, dude."
Oh yeah. No, it's pricey, but it looks pretty cool.
Oh, it 100% does. I've convinced myself. I told myself I can't become a Lego guy till I'm like late 30s. I don't know.
We spend enough money on movies.
It just feels like you make that transition in your life where you're like, well, this is me now. I'm just gonna be fucking Lego guy now.
There's only so many expensive hobbies we can have in our life
at a time, right?
At a time.
Become a Will Ferrell character that never plays with his Legos. He just displays.
Oh yeah, right.
Lego,
All right, Tony, you're up.
Yeah, so my next one will be, as we all love physical media, I love the fact that, when I grew up in the 80s, we had VHS tapes, and I love that they're starting to do more VHS tape releases. We had people that would just do kind of like a bootleg VHS release, but now we're really getting genuine releases, and I love that. I don't get to display all my VHS tapes. They're all in totes, nicely organized, but they're in totes. But I do like the fact that they're doing more different types of releases. I know Jake showed the Late Night with the Devil that has a VHS tape with different content on it, which I think is cool. So I hope that moving forward, we get more things like this.
And we're getting Alien Romulus.
Yep, exactly.
And that's Disney.
Yeah. That's a big one, yeah.
And they're from all over the world too. Like Vice Press is coming out with like the Suspiria and Evil Dead ones that look like an art piece. Like the tape looks insane. I have the Suspiria one. It looks awesome.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's just I love how 2024 is just having a VHS resurgence out of nowhere. And I have a room full of VHS in the back, and I could not be happier.
Well, and that was the umbrella you were showing of Late Night with the Devil, was it? That had the VHS that came with it too. You were talking about, and it's just it's kind of a cool, like Tony, you're saying, it's just kind of cool. They're bringing something extra to the table, just something different to make the collectors want to go out there and get those things.
Right. Well, it's just that, isn't it? It's the like Jake said earlier. It's the it's like it's becoming more collector driven, and that can take many forms. And part of that is like, oh, if we release this old format, new movie on an old format, people will buy it. So I guess, it's like, well, why wouldn't we do that? People want it. Let's give it to them.
Yeah.
I have one in my stack of stuff to show off in a little bit, but I just opened up a piece of mail that had Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer from Dark Sky Selects. It's just like, I don't see this slowing down at all next year either. I just think we're going to continue to go down the VHS route.
It's a cool thing. I'm here for it.
All right,
if it makes people happy, then.
Well, I'd say like whether you want to collect it yourself or not, it's a great thing for physical media collectors because if they're putting out even different formats that you're not interested in, they're putting it out still. And
the tape head community is very, very strong and opinionated for sure.
Yeah,
just like physical media and all the BluTubers over here. So I dipped my toe a little bit into that pond, and I'm like, man, it's just people have some opinions, and
I started to get into the tapes for a bit, and it just becomes, it's not practical. Like to do 4K and Blu-rays like we do, and to also have VHS, it's simply a space issue for me. Like I have I have my classics, like a lot of my favorite horror movies on tape, but like I couldn't have just like Dumb and Dumber. Like it's just wasting space. If I do watch it, it will always be the Blu-ray. There's just no need.
But, I will say there is something very nostalgic about, if you can, like getting the CRT, pressing the button, having that fuzz go over, just the analog aspect of everything. It brings me back, man.
Yeah.
I have a CRT back here with the tape, the VCR built in.
I'm hoping that they start selling those again, especially just a small
That'd be
one.
great.
People would buy them.
They would.
Because especially the ones that are like these tiny little compact ones, you can keep it like on a dresser or something. And then like there's the video game community who likes them for retro games.
Right.
It's the only way to play them.
Exactly.
Yep. We still have our big console TV still from the 90s, and it works perfectly. And that's where I've got my retro games on. And it's amazing.
You guys know.
If they start selling CRTs in Hot Topic with a horror section, we will sell like hotcakes. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Well, on the one hand, part of the appeal I feel like is the hunt, is like, because there's no better feeling than going into like a Goodwill or a yard sale and finding some like really cheaply priced like horror VHS tapes, especially if you just actually want them. Like it's one thing if you want to maybe sell them, you could get a quick profit. That's cool. But if it's something you actually like really want, you're like, damn, like I wanted to find this and I found it. It's like there's no better feeling.
I actually posted a video last Saturday on my channel where a neighbor gave away a big box of VHS tapes and DVDs.
I hauling those in, Tony.
Dude, that feeling is like, what's going to be in here? It's such a good
free
feeling.
too. Everything in that box was free.
That's what's funny in those interactions, though. It's like one person's like, "Oh, thank goodness I got this out of my house," and the other person's like, "Do you believe they gave this all to me for free?" It's like it's so funny, like seeing the two different sides of that.
Everybody wins, man.
I struck gold.
Yep. And the other was like, "Please take it."
There was a dead squirrel in the box, but other than that, it was beautiful.
Take the good with the bad.
There wasn't.
Oh, I was gonna say there. Hey.
That's the Tony sneaky humor right there.
But if there were, I wouldn't have minded.
You would have been like,
you just
Wipe
brush
it
it to
down.
the side, and
the movies will still play. It's okay.
yeah, they're all in sleeves. We're good.
All right, Jake, you're up.
Talked a little bit about the family aspect. That was one of mine, but I'll kind of switch into just watching movies with friends. I love the movie theater going experience, and I love the Cinemarks of it all with like the best state of the art projection that you can get. But there's something about a mom and pop independent theater. I have two of them within like a 50-mile drive from me. I'm going to one tomorrow to a friend's 40th birthday party. He wanted to see his favorite movie on the big screen, Scott Pilgrim versus the World. So
Nice.
there's going to be like 50 of us in an independent theater at 9 a.m. going to watch this movie. I saw it in theaters and it was a great experience. It's my favorite Edgar Wright movie. I love that film with a passion, and I think it's going to be absolutely great to just go in there with a lot of people who love the movie as well and just start like shouting and screaming when good things happen. But independent theaters, you're able to rent out any type of theater, watch whatever you want. This theater also was the only theater in my area showing The Substance. So I went and saw that in theaters. It's just, they do very cool, just specific events as there as well. Like there was a movie that was released that they brought like a whole mariachi band to kind of bring like the Hispanic community together to promote this documentary. They just
That's
go above
awesome.
and beyond to kind of put the community first and together. And I love that aspect about just the little mom and pops. You got to support them just like we do with physical media and the boutique labels. It's nice to support anything independently run.
My local drive-in did a horror night where they did overnight. They did like Evil Dead and Halloween and the original Nightmare on Elm Street.
Nice.
And they just did it until the sun came up. It was like the coolest event. I had to drive like 55 minutes to get to it, but it was just like the coolest thing.
Hell yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
I love that that's still kind of a thing because I have a lot of people in my life that are like, movies are still popular. I'm like, yeah, the drive-in's doing like all-night movie marathon of like the best horror movies ever. And when you go, the entire drive-in's full of cars. So yeah, it's still a thing. And I love that.
love
Like it's really neat.
I miss
driving.
I miss drive-ins. We grew up with those things. They were
Yeah,
so
that was
much
my whole
fun.
childhood. That's where we saw all of
yeah.
our movies was at the drive-in.
We'd
I still
pile
have
in
it.
the car with aunts and uncles and cousins and sit there all night, and they'd have double, triple features, and that was always so much fun.
I still have a drive-in like half an hour away from me, and that's during COVID. Like that's the only way that we could really watch really good. So we went like 3 times a month, and they were playing a whole bunch of classic movies. That's how I watched Jaws for the first time. Was at the drive-in movie theater like a couple of years ago. It was. Yeah.
I mean, and that's how they stayed open because there weren't any new movies to play.
Correct.
Yeah.
When we went to the drive-in, we used to have the speakers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Roll the windows down.
Yes.
I know it's all on the radio or something now. Radio
It's
waves.
the
but-
radio.
We had the metal boxes that you had to
Yeah, that's what we had.
Yeah.
Man, you guys are so lucky. I've never been to a drive-in. I want to go.
What?
Wow.
Oh,
That's
that's
good.
fun.
I've been
I
on
gotta
that.
find one. I gotta go explore and find a drive-in.
I
It's
went
a fun
one time.
experience. It's
It
a fun
is.
experience.
I love sneaking food in. That's the best.
We always
Oh,
brought
yeah.
picnic
People
Did they like
baskets in with
check
us all
it?
the
Like, did they
time.
like check your car? Like, did you bring your food?
No.
They didn't really care. With ours,
No.
they would like when we were growing up, you'd pay by car. So we'd go to like we'd get together a bunch of aunts and uncles and farming community. So there's lots of trucks. So it usually ends up being all the kids in the back with lawn chairs of a truck, and they'd like pile into like 2 trucks, and you'd pay per vehicle to come in. And you come in there with a couple of picnic baskets and you set up the lawn chairs, and
You would bring your own pizza in. Like they did not care as long as you were there to watch a movie. You were just surrounded by cornfields. It's
The same rules don't apply at the drive-in because they have their own snack stand too that you can go and buy from, and you know, if people have that option as well, and you know, it's cool. I went and saw E.T. at the drive-in. That was pretty sweet.
Yeah, that's where I first saw E.T. was at the drive-in when it first came out.
Yeah, that was I think that might have been during COVID too. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, 2021, I think. So still kind of in the shit.
Tiana.
Oh yeah. I guess I can say that I'm grateful for good movies this year because this year has been really good. So I have Lisa Frankenstein.
Oh, yeah.
And I have It Ends With Us. Those are 2 of my favorites so far. I have a lot more. But yeah, this year has been really good so far.
Yeah, I think this has been a great year for movies. I know some people are like, I don't like new movies anymore. I'm not going to the theater. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like 2024 has been a great year for movies. I'm always at the theater with my unlimited pass. I'm like, I'm getting a ton of movie watching in. I'm liking most of the films I'm seeing. So I'm like, this has been a great year.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's been a
cover.
Go ahead, Jake.
No, in the next week we have Gladiator 2 and Wicked, and then Moana 2. Like it's gonna do crazy box office this next month.
Oh yeah, this holiday season's gonna go crazy, and then we have Nosferatu on Christmas
Yeah.
Day.
Oh yeah, really excited about that.
Sonic
Yep.
3.
Oh yes, man.
Yeah, we're kind of back ended with just tons of stuff here.
Mm-hmm.
It's like summer blockbuster in the wintertime.
Yeah,
Basically, yeah.
yeah. It's been a really great year for horror movies too. I think out of my top 10, like 5 are horror movies. We got Longlegs, Alien Romulus, In a Violent Nature, The Substance, and I saw the TV Glow, which is like horror adjacent. And like for contrast, like my last year, I had no horror movies in my top 10 of the year. So yeah, it's been a really great year for horror.
Mark,
movies.
did you get to see Strange Darling?
I did. That's just
So
outside
good.
the top 10.
So
just
good.
outside. It's really good though.
I just watched that last night.
Oh,
I liked
darn
it
good.
a lot.
Isn't
Oh
it
my
cool?
gosh.
It was a
Don't
cool
give
ad-
anything away. That one's so good to go in. I went in so blind with that one. That's
Yeah,
a
me
great
too.
one.
No
Not
really.
knowing anything with it.
That was a cool ass movie for sure.
All right, Jeff.
So I am thankful for some of my favorite classic movies. For all the people that said there were no good new movies, there were a lot of great classics that were released this year. Who would have thought that we were going to start getting comedies on 4K and that they'd get nice steelbooks? Or even like B-rated horror movies. Like this is one of my favorites.
Oh.
And it got like a beautiful steelbook. It got
Yeah.
slipcover galore.
Yeah.
It got posters.
Yes, sir.
Like this was a great year for classic movies to come to the 4K format as well. So that's where I'm thankful for is how much good catalog titles we got. Because we've gotten a lot of good ones.
Oh yeah.
Here.
I've said that before to people, and I've been bad about it up until the last like probably 5 or 6 years ago. But I started digging into like, if you complain about things that are coming out now, there's so many movies from our past that you have not seen that are awesome. And I've finally opened myself up to that, even to black and white or, whatever. But even not even going back that far, there's just so many good movies and there's no way you've seen them all. And there's always something to dig into and check out from the past.
That's one of the reasons I love this hobby. Like movie watching, you're always going to have more movies to watch till the end of time. You can never see them all.
Yeah, you can go back to the well anytime and poke around, and that's what makes like blind buying so cool. Like Kino, when they do their sales, like I would just go through and be like, oh, what's this cool horror movie? And I'd read the synopsis, maybe cross-reference its rating with like Letterboxd and IMDb to make sure it's not a complete piece of crap, and then you pull the trigger on it and you find a super cool horror movie that you never would have watched otherwise. Like, yeah, there's so much stuff to be discovered.
Absolutely.
All right, you're up, Mark.
So in keeping with my last couple rounds, I have a stack here and I'm just gonna kind of talk about them all at once. It's just like movies that make me feel things, which is one of my favorite genres. And you got Past Lives. This was my second place movie
I loved it.
of last year.
It's very good. Very good.
Was great.
For a long time, this was my favorite, and then Holdovers came out, and they kind of go back and forth. Maybe it depends on the day, but like movies like that,
They both have the feels.
they do in different ways.
Yeah, right.
Movie like Paris, Texas, which is just such an unsuspecting movie. The way it kind of creeps up on you and builds, and it's almost like a mystery because you're like wondering what's going on, and then when you find out what's going on, you're like, oh, how did that happen? And then find out how that happens, and it really just keeps you watching, and it's really beautiful. And Harry Dean Stanton is fantastic in it. And then you got like the Before trilogy. I'm sure you guys all know these.
I just got that not too long.
Really great movies.
Have you seen them yet, Corey?
Just the first one so far.
Okay.
Just
First
one.
one's my favorite, but they're all magical in their own kind of way. And just the fact that something like this got made, where it's they're all kind of maybe like a decade between each of them, roughly, and that's not a thing that really happens. It's sort of an experimental thing, but yeah, these are really cool. So I just like movies that make you feel different when the credits roll than you did when the movie started. Like that's my favorite thing. Like I know my channel's kind of like horror focused, but I think maybe people might be surprised to discover that I like romance movies would be like probably my second favorite genre if I had to divvy it out. But yeah, anything that can make me feel anything, whether it's scared or make me cry, it's all good stuff.
You got a tail from the shelf on all those.
Exactly,
It doesn't
man.
have to be just horror, man.
No, 100%. And it's like I don't want to ever pigeonhole myself, but I do find that with horror movies I have the most to talk about. But
I get that.
That's neither here nor there.
Mm-hmm.
So, Mark, you set up a perfect plug here for my channel. So I do not feel the same way about past lives. So I'm trying to get rid of my copy, the Blu-ray Slippy there. So if anybody signs up for a high-tier membership, the highest tier membership on the channel today, I will send you past lives Blu-ray. Enjoy.
Yeah, I bought it too. To me,
I have it.
Yeah, I'm
Wait,
not
you
sure
don't-
how
you didn't like it?
watchable it is.
I more than didn't like. Strongly dislike.
I liked it all.
Strongly dislike.
That is preposterous.
I can tell you
What do you not like about it?
Yeah, it was different. It was
It's a
you
sweet
don't
story.
do those kind of stories every day, and it doesn't have your typical ending. To me,
Yeah,
that's what I
that
like
ending
about
is
it.
like that ending is like a it's my wallpaper on my phone.
Oh,
That's
there
how
you
much
go.
I love it,
Yeah.
dude. I mean,
It's not bad, yeah.
how can you not? I was in the theater by myself, and there was like 3 old ladies in the front, and like I'm pretty sure by the time they were old, we were all 4 crying in the theater. It was, I mean,
Love it.
it was so good. Mike, it didn't hit you on any kind of emotional
It hit
level.
me on the level of disgust, but
All right. Well,
okay.
we'll have-
So, oh my gosh, I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to not remember, but I gotta remember the movie now.
That's another live
So
stream.
you got these 2 people
Yeah.
that are flirting. This girl's married, and then they go out and meet each other like for a creepy flirtation thing. I'm like, what the heck is going on here? It was just hitting me the wrong way. I'm like, this is weird. This is.
But they
That
didn't do anything.
happens,
Yeah.
though.
They didn't do anything, Mike. They
But
just
come
talked.
on, they were like one.
You were
step
reminiscing.
away.
Yeah, they grew up
Yeah.
together. They were both from a
Mhm.
different country.
Yeah.
They're both.
I don't know.
foreign.
It seemed more than friend. It seemed a little odd.
Are you
Um,
saying that there's something off screen that happened? That
I'm just
what
saying,
are you
know,
implying
I
exactly?
don't know. The eyes did not lie. Like they were looking at each
Well,
other. in a
obviously
certain
they like
way,
each
and-
other, but that's the whole point. Is
Well,
that they
then,
can't.
then
they
you
can't-
can't go meet each other with the girls married. Like
Mike,
that's a
it's like
no-no.
It's
like for closure.
forbidden. Like
It's
forbidden.
closure.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she left so suddenly.
Yeah, exactly. And they never
Yeah.
got to reconnect. And they
Oh,
did
God.
reconnect, and then she got married.
All right, so I'm
But
trying
they-
to give that copy away, guys. So if anybody wants to sign up for the highest-
No, you're
I get that one
I-
out of
I
here.
totally respect the fact that it didn't work for you. I
Absolutely.
understand that totally.
Yep.
Have
do
I
find
mentioned
it
that I'm trying to give away my copy of it? No.
I just find it interesting. I like understanding maybe what didn't work
Yeah.
about it for some.
No, a lot of people love that one. So it's just like that type of stuff where it's like, I
totally
kind of
understand.
where I
totally
like
understand.
consider it like cheating stuff. I'm like that stuff
Oh,
just
okay.
rubs me the wrong way.
People have defined that differently, so
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah. I'll agree with you straight up. Like the movies that have straight up infidelity in it, I cannot handle.
Well,
that.
yeah, and
I know,
it's-
so I know where, but this is,
Yeah.
I liked Past Lives. I'll just say that. I'll leave
And
it.
then to me, it was just super slow, and I just wasn't like, I don't know, I was intrigued by it, so I'm just like, yeah.
As long as you like the holdovers, we can still be
Yeah.
friends.
Well, no, Mark, you've given me some good recommendations. Like, what was that horror movie? Cobwebs or what was it?
Oh yeah, Cobweb.
Cobwebs
That
was
one
good.
was awesome. So
That's a
I'm
good
so
one.
happy on
Cobweb
your
was pretty good.
recommendation of that one. I'm like, oh man, this was really good. So
Yeah,
I really
like
like that one.
relative to like what it is and like the budget and stuff, like as just a cool little horror movie, like yeah, I think it's cool. Like
I like
yeah.
to take the
Yeah.
budget into account. It's amazing what they can do with what they are working
Exactly.
with.
You know,
Yeah.
I try to take all that into account, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, well, you know, this isn't going to be like my favorite of the year, but I like that they were able to achieve what they achieved.
So but this is probably a whole nother topic, but that movie I think suffered from being released at a horrible time of the year compared to like the feel that movie had. Like, didn't that come out like in July or something like that in theaters?
Well-
But it wasn't even close. That should have been an October movie.
You
out
mean
in the
past?
theaters.
You mean
Cobwebs?
Cobweb?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That one.
Cobweb,
Yeah.
yeah.
That came out when I think during the Barbenheimer thing, if I'm not mistaken,
Mm.
or like in that proximity.
It just was like in a bad time of the year. Like that one
Yeah,
totally
it
had
just-
the
it totally got buried.
Halloween vibes. It should have been an October movie.
Yeah, it got
Anyway,
absolutely
sorry.
buried. I don't think it got a super
We've come
wide
up with
release.
4 other live streams we're going to have for this one.
All right, well, I'll keep it going. Okay, we're into the 5th and final round here, so we won't go too much longer here. But just got this in from Amazon, so perfect shout out here with Sony doing an amazing job this year with the Columbia Classic sets.
Yeah.
And not only that, they had 2 Columbia Classic sets come out in the same year. So I haven't even gotten the newest one. I just picked this one up because it was on a Black Friday deal. So, but they're amazing. 2 amazing actually 3 amazing box sets because of their Frank Capra set.
Right.
That just came out too. I want that one when it gets more of a
That one
discount.
looks crazy. Yeah.
I'm like, oh my gosh, these amazing box sets at actually pretty decent price. I mean, if you want to pay full price for them, I'm like, you're still getting quite a bit, so that's not a bad deal. But I just think Sony's killing it. Like for just a studio, I think they're doing the best out of any of the studios. So besides their Venom 3 still, but shame on them.
They're also charging the most. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, take the good with the bad, but at least their offerings are pretty cool, especially with the box set stuff. So they give me some hope for studios. Once they get those prices under control, then they'll be even better.
Agreed.
All right, Corey.
All right. This probably is overlap with a lot of different things that we've talked about tonight, but definitely the thing I love about movies is how it can bring us all together. And sometimes it doesn't matter about the quality or the sound, the picture. I'm not discounting that at all. I love a nice 4K picture. I've seen some OLED TVs. I don't have one, but some friends that have them, they're amazing. And the whole Dolby Atmos surround, amazing. Not discounting those at all. But I had bought a relatively inexpensive 1080p projector, one that we could throw a big picture up on a bare wall in our living room or hang a sheet up even out in our backyard when we're having a bonfire.
Oh yeah.
And it's 1080 and it's not going to be the greatest because it's on a bare wall or a literal white bed sheet out by a campfire, in our backyard, but it's throwing up a picture of about 100 to 110 inches. The sound isn't the greatest in the world, but you can hear the thing. And everybody that's sitting around there is not complaining about the picture or the sound.
Yeah.
They're just in the movie and everybody's quiet just watching it. And it kind of feels like that experience of the drive-in theater, having the big old screen and sitting there. So it's amazing how if you get dug into a story, it does not matter if it's a DVD, a Blu-ray, 4K, if you have a surround sound, if it's a little earbuds or whatever, you can get pulled into a story and make you feel things. And it does not matter. Like I said, love all the technology and not taken away from that, but you can still have a great experience with what you got. And so just enjoy what you have, throw it up on a screen, whatever you have. And no shame whether it's a DVD, 4K, Blu-ray, or like I said, a little cheaper projector on a bed sheet in the backyard, while we're having toast and marshmallows. It's kind of fun to just put that up there and people just go silent and get into the movie and watch it. And then you get done and you sit there and talk about it for a little bit. So,
yeah. And those projectors have gotten super cheap too over the past couple of years. It's crazy affordable.
Oh yeah.
Like I said, the one I have was not crazy. I'm not the cheapest, but definitely not the most expensive. And I don't know. I'm pretty impressed with the picture, and it's only rates it as a 1080p. But man, we have a good time with it. It's fun to throw that up and have kind of a movie night. And
you know what though, 1080p is the Goldilocks format. In my opinion, I heard that somewhere,
right.
and I agree.
Right. Yeah,
it's nothing wrong with Blu-ray at all. 1080p is great, actually.
And I know it would look better if I got a legitimate screen for it, but you know what?
But there's something there's something endearing about that. We watched. I was at a Halloween party back in October, and I was with a bunch of people in a backyard, and we watched Halloween on a projector.
Yeah, and
I've seen the movie so many times, but when you're watching it with people who haven't seen it before, and there was some of those, and when you're outside and you got that ambiance going, it's a distinct experience. And I would take that over, watching it, on a 4K TV by myself, any day.
Yeah. So all the formats, all the new technology, awesome. But the power of movies to transcend all of that and just kind of pull you in, we're talking about VHS tapes on CRT TVs. You know, like you
Yeah.
still can get pulled in and have a great time watching it.
It's just about loving movies, and at the end of the day, I feel like that's what needs to continue to happen. Is
Yes.
that just push the art form of film, because there's a lot of different ways that you can kind of stretch your free time these days, especially with a tablet or just YouTube or anything like that. Scrolling on TikTok for hours.
Video
There's something
games.
special about film, and I'm hoping
Yeah.
that just does not go away anytime soon.
Yeah, and that's one of the things, that Jake just mentioned. Younger people growing up now, they can't sit for a movie.
Oh my God.
It doesn't seem
It's
like
crazy.
Yeah.
God, no.
If I go to the movie theater, which I do very often, people are on their phone the whole time. It drives me crazy.
Oh, that drive.
You just sit down and watch the movie, but
Turn
they
the phone
can't.
off.
They can't handle it. So
Yeah,
it is
even if people as old as like 21, like people I work with, and they're
Right.
like, "Yeah, I can't. It was boring. I couldn't sit through it."
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I don't. Yeah, it's bad. It's a bad thing.
I just purposely shut everything off. Like even at home, if we're talking about going out in the backyard and hanging the sheet up and put them. My phone's in the house. Like I don't want it anywhere near me. That's my time where I don't have to focus on anything else except sitting around the people I'm with and watching the movie that we have going
Yeah.
on. But
There's something very admirable about that. I can really respect that when people be like, okay, I'm going to be present in this moment. I'm not going to be on my phone during the movie you recommended me. Like that's to me like the ultimate, disrespect. It's like, so yeah, there's something really nice about that.
mm-hmm.
All right, Johnny.
All right, since this is our last one, I am thankful for you, Mike. You managed to bring together some amazing people on all of your streams, and it just makes everything wonderful and great. I don't understand. I still can't figure out how you do it, but you just did you from having these panels to when you do your rankings and everything like that. You managed to bring the best out of every one of us. And for that,
Yeah.
I am so thankful for Mike.
Thank you,
agree.
man. I'm still shocked in how I do it. I'm still trying to figure it out. I'm like, how do I do this? I don't know how. Because of you guys. It's all because of you guys willing to be on the channel, jumping into these streams. Because without you guys, it could not happen. So I think you guys too. You guys are awesome.
Well, I'll just say I know a lot of you on the screen right now that I see do way more than I do on YouTube and other formats. And I know the little I do, I know how much time it takes. So you all put a lot of work into this, and it's cool to see. So I always love seeing this stuff coming out. Mike, Tony, Jake, Mark, Jeff, everybody on here.
Yeah.
I think everybody on here does more than I do. So I'm always amazed. Like I said, the little bit I do, I'm amazed how much time that takes. And so I can only imagine how much time all of you put into this stuff. So very cool to see.
Yeah, I never feel like I'm doing enough. So like, don't feel like you have to kind of meet some kind of a arbitrary standard. It's comparison is like the thief of joy, they say. So as long as you're having fun with what you're doing, and that's all that really matters, I think. But it's nice to think that people are watching my stuff too. It's really nice. Like there is sort of that level of being of like, wow, like people are actually taking time out of their day to watch something that I made. So, and that's why we do it at the end of the day. Like if no one watched, like, I don't know that we would make videos, because what's the point, right? So it's fine about finding that balance, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I agree.
Steve.
I'm gonna be real quick. I had to thank the Criterion Collection for bringing some movies to me this last 30 days or so that I've never seen before. I have Defending Your Life, like we've talked about with Mike, great Albert Brooks movie. I've got Perfect Days from Wim Wenders, same director that did Paris, Texas. Great movie. It's in Japanese, but it's very little dialogue.
I wanted to see that.
Yeah, I think you would like it. I think you would really like it, actually.
Yeah,
and
I
then
need to check
the
that
last
out.
one here, the most recent one I've seen, is The Long Good Friday. So a Bob Hoskins movie.
Nice.
It's a British mafia movie from 1980, and a fantastic movie. It's like it's spine number 26 in the collection. And so I don't know if it was out of print for Criterion and they brought it back on Blu-ray and 4K, but But I'd really recommend people check this out. It has Pierce Brosnan is in a few scenes in the movie. It doesn't have any lines. It has the guy that played Belloc in the Raiders of the Lost Ark, the bad guy.
Nice.
He's in like the beginning of this, so it's good. It's got Helen Mirren's in it. She's 44 years ago. She's really young. Like Excalibur, she did the year after this. So definitely check out these 3 movies on Criterion.
Good recommendations.
Yeah, before
I
the
like
sale's
them all.
over on December 2nd.
I know you. I'm like, you made the long Good Friday sound really good. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh,
You should check it out, Mike. I think you would like it. Yeah.
That's the danger of these live streams. I got like
I
20
know,
new
right?
movies I got to check
Yeah.
out by the
I'm
end of
always
it.
like, I gotta limit myself. I gotta pace myself.
You guys are good. You're all good salesmen. You all like. I want to get that Hitcher because I've seen that once and I enjoyed it, but I need to watch it again. It's like
They make a standard edition too, Mark. So you don't have to get the huge box set if you don't want to.
I want
Yeah,
that Hitcher, and
but I do
want
though. That's the problem.
Yeah, I know. I want that Hitcher, and I want that Hush now too. And check out the
I need
Oh,
Hush
yeah.
too.
that Hush version or the whatever version.
Shush.
The Shush version.
Shush. Sorry, I was saying wrong.
No, it's the Shush cut. It's like a
Yeah.
yeah.
It sounds like a cool. I don't know. It like I said. Or anyway, I'll stop talking. It sounds like a great way to spin that and experience the movie in a different way.
And we wouldn't have it without physical media.
Correct.
All right, Tony.
So another thing that I'm thankful for recently is what they've been doing with the popcorn buckets.
Hey,
I'm
nice.
just brought that up, Tony.
I mean,
That's an awesome one.
thinking about someone that don't have enough money to spend already,
Oh, yeah.
getting these little things.
Tony, where do you
That's-
where
I
do you
wanted
put
that
this stuff?
Baby
Where-
Deadpool one.
How do you have room for all of this, sir?
I barely do, and that's why
It hangs from the ceiling.
this whole center area's got all the popcorn bucket.
They make good shelf toppers. That's a good
But
point.
I do like the fact that they're not just a bucket anymore. Now that they actually make it into something
Yeah,
to display.
those
This
are having a
freaking
renaissance.
alien head? Are you kidding me?
There you go.
I had to grab this. I'm sorry. I love this thing so much. And you can,
Tony
like,
had to get
hold it,
up.
like, handle it. It's
Oh,
crazy.
Hell yeah.
cool.
Freaking
They're having a
crazy.
renaissance for sure right now.
Yeah.
It's bringing people into the theaters that they're finding different ways to get people to get in and get excited.
The Slimer.
Oh, that Batman is awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
The light. Oh, the Slimer there. That's nice.
I know I have like 3 Ghostbuster Frozen Empire one, and I'm like, I didn't even like the movie that much. How did I end up with 3 different ones? I don't know what's
It's a
happening.
grower. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's always nice to have something to display in the collection, other than movies themselves. So
Right.
yeah,
It's a good way for the theaters to get in some excitement and like bring people in. Like
Yep.
it's just something else to stop in the theater and check something out and,
Right.
and make a purchase.
I also love some collection flair for
Yeah.
sure. Just add some pops. I love
yeah.
it.
All right, Jake.
For my last one, I feel like 2024 VHS resurgence. We already talked about that, but it's also a year of like the introduction of a nice encyclopedic release of a title. We have The Hitcher, which we already talked about. The Blair Witch Project just had one from Second Sight. A couple from Umbrella right here, like Caligula. Like why Caligula
Wow.
would get a massive box set
Nice.
like this is insane.
How is
But-
that movie, by the way?
I haven't watched it yet because I'm scared. I'm nervous to
That's
watch.
bizarre,
This comes with
movie.
a replica of
I've seen
Playboy-
it.
Playboy magazine or no, Penthouse
I've
magazine.
seen it.
Is it pretty good?
How is it,
Johnny?
Johnny?
It's like X, you're saying?
It's well, you take out all the porn, it's a really good movie.
Yeah.
That's what I'm nervous to watch. About.
I don't
There's
know
like
if I'm
five
more
different-
interested or I don't know.
There's
Yeah.
5 different cuts of the movie in there. It's absolutely
Yeah.
crazy. But my favorite box set release still this year is for one that I didn't think would ever get one, and that's Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
thing is crazy.
zoom
One
in
of my
on that.
favorite movies growing up. This one sold out so fast that they came out with a secondary version that doesn't have a couple of things
Yeah.
in it. But this box set is everything you could ever want about a movie that was a commercial failure when it came out at the box office. It's just crazy how like
Yep.
some things can hit cult status to where 25, 30 years down the road, it will get a nice, massive, beefy box set like this.
Mm-hmm.
it's crazy to think some of the releases that are getting that love,
Mhm.
and
Right.
nothing against those movies.
Yeah.
But would you ever have thought like 5-10 years ago
Super
that some of these
Mario.
movies would, yeah, like Super Mario's or some of these would gotten these sets like that?
It's the
That's
fandom, man. It's us. Like we're the reason. You know,
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
it's a beautiful thing. We
Mhm.
manifested that. You know, enough people said that they wanted that for they'd be like, oh well, if we made that, people would buy it and it would be financially viable because at the end of the day, it is a business. But like, yeah, it's cool.
well, and hopefully that's sending a message to them too. If they're selling out, like you said, like that one sold out so fast, and they had to do a secondary one that was a little
Right.
different. You know, not as many things. Maybe that just encourages them to dig into more catalogs and put out more titles, ones that maybe a lot of people have nostalgia for but haven't seen in a long time. You get some crazy beautiful release like that for it.
Right.
Because a lot of it is the preservation aspect too.
Mm.
That I feel like a lot of it kind of goes by the wayside because it's sort of like an incidental thing.
Mhm.
But like through the process of restoring these movies to high definition, you save them from, you know, being lost. Like from like the 20s and that kind of era. There's like a lot of movies that like they didn't think to save the elements. So there's a lot of movies from like the 20s and the 30s that just straight up don't exist anymore. But like
Right.
people know that they did exist. And that's a crazy thing to think about is that there's these movies out there that people did watch at one point, but you can never watch them because they don't exist anymore. So like I think that that's a thing that kind of is something that I'm grateful. And just to chime in, this isn't my last pick, but that's a thing that I think is really cool. That's sort of like a byproduct of this whole thing is the fact that these things get a second life.
And I'm also a sucker just for like capturing that time period in the physical media form. It comes with like a replica magazine, a Skybox magazine that's advertising the movie. And it just like brings you back to advertisements that were from the time, the pull-out poster that was in it as well. Like it's little touches like this that just like really make me love releases like this and kind of justify a little bit better spending the type of money just because you get everything you could possibly imagine for a film like this.
Now they just have you sitting there saying, just let me know when the next one comes out and I'll buy it. You know, kind of a thing. Because it just, like you said, but when they put nice touches in that, it's one thing when they ask a lot of money. It's another thing when the price can be up there, but they're delivering that too. They're giving some extras within there.
Make me feel like my money is well spent.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, because how much was that one?
I want to say this one was like 135, something like that.
But that's
Yeah,
not
that
bad
sounds
for what
about
you're
right.
getting there. Like that's really good value. So yeah, it's better than a Disney steelbook for like $75, and that's all, that's all it is. All right, Tiana.
All right. So I am grateful for the community because as everyone, well, I know a lot of people know I've had a rough year. And also it has been really rough and like recovery is also rough just because like I'm not working and it makes me seem like people that I get to talk to every day or just even the week or whenever, it's just so nice because it's not about what happened to me. It's about other things, which is really nice for recovery of what I had to go through. So I'm grateful for the community for that for sure. But yeah.
Yeah, just having somebody to talk to.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be about your own personal life, but talking about movies, things that you love.
Yeah.
So it is good. It's a nice way to escape from what we go through day to day. Just having people to talk to about life, you know, about movies, all those things.
Yeah, someone who's just unbiased and isn't going to judge you and will listen to you talk. It's
right.
You can't put a price on something like that.
Yeah, no, it's really nice for sure.
Excellent. Yeah, I mean, and I'm just thinking about it myself. I'm like, that is such a good point. Like, it just gives you that safe space to escape in. And I'm just thinking, oh, so many times throughout the year when I'm having a rough day, and then I completely like forget about it for the time we're doing a stream or the times we're just chatting, and it like lets your mind relax a little bit because you just get to sit back with friends, talk about movies for a little bit, and it's just like, oh, it just gives you like some refreshing, like revitalized energy back, and I'm like, oh, amazing.
100%, man.
Yep.
All right, Jeff.
So the thing that I'm the most thankful for this year is the thing I'm usually the most thankful for every year. Next week, me and my wife will have been together for 14 years.
Oh, congratulations,
She
man.
Hell yeah.
she obviously lets me be me and do my thing.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I'm just really lucky to have someone like that in my life. A few people here have got to meet her, and you know, I'm that's what I'm the most thankful for, is to have a friend that supports me like she does and lets me get on here and do this. I mean, I don't have kids come, my kids don't come and bug me while I'm on here live streaming with you guys, because my wife takes care of them so I can come on here and have fun and play with you guys and have a good time. So I'm the most thankful for that, because that's the best kind of support that I get to have.
That's awesome, man.
That's great.
You're a lucky man.
Yeah, Bree's awesome, but I'll say it takes a team. So I'm sure there's ways that you
100%.
Help her back, and it's great to have a partner like that you can both help each other. Pursue things that you enjoy.
Well, I mean, and she's the one that comes home with a couple new movies when I'm like, no, I don't need anything this week, So it's nice to have that kind of support just in general. Like,
yeah, we're not together anymore, but my last girlfriend, she was at Walmart one day and she knew that I collected movies, so she sent me like a picture of like the steelbook wall, and she's like, "Do you want any of these?" And I was like, "Yeah, I kind of do." And she's like, "Which ones do you want?" And like, that's a really nice thing, isn't it? When they're like supportive of your hobby, and I mean, granted, there's way worse hobbies to have, but
well, I mean, I have a lot of hobbies. Like, I like to collect CDs and video games and movies, and
you're
just at one point it was Pokemon cards or this or that, and my wife's never told me no. She just says, you take care of what you need to take care of, and then you play, you have fun.
That's awesome.
It's just very nice to have that, because not a lot of people get to do that,
Yep. Just make sure you get a movie every once in a while you can share with her, right? You guys can
I try to do that quite a bit. She doesn't really care all that often. She's just like I'll watch a movie and I'm like, oh, I loved it. She'll be like, 3.5. But she always sits down and watches them with me.
Well, then just look over at her and say, it might have been a 3.5 movie, but you got to spend an hour and a half with me. So, hey.
Yeah.
All right, Mark.
Awesome, all right. So this is kind of like my Hitcher release of the year. It's this Blair Witch Project.
That's nice.
This is kind of in the news today a little bit. We're gonna need replacement discs for these. But with all that being said, though, I do think that Second Sight's obviously great at what they do, and this was a movie that really needed this kind of treatment. It actually came to light. I don't know that people knew this prior, but this movie's never actually looked the way that it's supposed to look. They did a process when Artisan bought the rights from the filmmakers that processed the high 8 tapes and the 16 millimeter film that it was shot on, and through that process, the film just did not look the way it was supposed to look. It's a lot of technical jargon. And the filmmakers have kind of had to sit with that for a long time. And I actually got to interview one of the producers, Mike Manello, on my channel. And he talked to me a lot about this release and how he feels like 25 years later, this movie's finally finished. And that's a crazy thing to think about. And I'm a big fan of this movie. It's one of my favorite horror films of all time. And it's certainly a movie that not only deserved to look the way it's supposed to look, but deserves a release like this with all the fixins. I'm sure it's got it's a Hitcher adjacent set. It's got all kinds of cool shit in here. So I'm grateful for labels like Second Sight who give us releases like Hitcher and movies like this, and they're able to fix something that without them might not have ever been fixed. Mike Manella talked about how the tapes that they were able to run through whatever process they used to convert these, they probably will never be able to ran through a machine again because they're starting to wear down from age and degradation. So if they hadn't done it when they did, who's to say 5 years from now this might not even be a thing that could have existed in the form that it exists in now. So yeah, film
Now,
preservation
is
like
that region B locked?
This is region B because it is not a 4K.
Mhm.
They did not think that it would be suitable for a 4K transfer just due to the nature of
Right.
how it was filmed.
Yeah, I don't think it would have looked right.
No, I don't think it would have.
God.
But and I don't even have a region free player, guys. but
Not
I bought this thing anyway because I love this movie so much. So it's on the Christmas list. I'm getting one soon.
I was gonna say that's gonna be on the list.
Yeah, it's coming soon. But and I think this is actually sold out now. This deluxe set.
Sure.
But I knew I needed to get it because it's just that
So
good.
it was just a slight audio glitch, correct?
So that's the other thing, Jeff, is that the issue. Me and Jeff talked about this a little bit earlier today. The actual issue is like it's one audio. It's not the right kind of audio track. And if I'm being on, and it's only affects one cut. It affects the theatrical cut. So like, if I'm being honest, like I'm gonna probably get the replacement disc. But if no one ever told me that there was a problem with it,
Yeah.
I very much doubt I would ever know.
Sure.
So regardless of whether it's a minor thing or a major thing, Second Sight is doing they're going to make us whole and they're going to fix the issue for free, and
Mhm.
that's cool. So
Take advantage.
yeah, that's
Sell
I
off the
don't
other disc. Nobody would ever know.
yeah,
Sell it
I
off.
guess you could, right? I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't need it, but
keep a new one.
I mean,
yeah.
some people won't even care. Like
Correct.
some
Right,
people might be
some-
like, oh, the box set's sold out. I can find me a loose disc for a few dollars.
Yeah, some
There's
people
probably
might
gonna
not
be
even
some of those being sold on eBay.
yeah, some people might not even get the replacement disc because it doesn't matter to them, and that's totally cool. It's up to you. The point is, if you want to get it, they will get it to you. So
I've also heard that the documentary on there is absolutely stellar, and as a
Yeah.
stock lover, I cannot wait to check that out. I have it back there. I just need to find time to watch it.
the other cool thing Mike Manello talked about is that Second Sight did well, first of all, when they reached out to him, all they wanted to do was a commentary track, a new commentary. But then Mike Manello was like, hey, did you know the movie doesn't look right? And they were like, what? And they didn't know. So they it's an expensive process that they didn't need to do, but they did it because they're like film fans first.
Right.
Like that's who's
Mhm.
over at Second
Yeah.
Sight, is
Director's cut,
who,
yeah.
who really care about that kind of thing. And then he said, so there's a ton of like unseen footage and stuff and like deleted scenes, and Second Sight kind of edited together all of the scenes in like timeline chronological order. So there's like a cut of this movie that's not this movie. It's like an alternate version of the movie where it's all like the kind of chopped up scenes from every scene kind of stitched together to kind of show you all the things that you didn't see. And if you're familiar with the movie, you can follow along with it and kind of orient yourself and be like, oh, this is what happened between this scene and this scene. And it's sort of like a weird, like sort of parallel dimension movie. It's a cool little oddity that like Second Sight just threw in. Like they just did it because they can. Like that's what's cool about it. But anyway, I digress. I'm thankful for Second Sight and the Blair Witch Project, and I'm thankful for Mike for having us on and bringing together 9 not strangers but people from all over the world who get to have conversations like this. So thank you for listening to me talk. That was a lot.
Yes.
We all talked a lot. It's all right.
Yeah.
I know. I'm like, this was
Yeah.
a great stream, though. I mean, very successful BluTuber Friendsgiving right here. I mean, I feel like I even know you guys even better now. I'm like, we're so connected here. We got into
Yeah.
some really good,
100%.
really good. Yeah,
I feel like I can
stories
come
and-
on here and kind of be vulnerable and talk to you guys, and no matter who's on, it's always a rotating door of different people, but no matter who it is, I always feel like I can kind of just be myself,
All right, so we'll quickly go around. You guys can let people know if you got any upcoming projects, what you're working on, all that fun stuff. Everybody's channel links are in the description below, audience. So definitely show everybody some love, some thankfulness. Go ahead, stop by their channel, watch the content, right? Enjoy it. And yeah, just keep loving movies. But Corey, what do you got upcoming?
Nothing too much to throw out right now. I will have some more things coming up, but I know just leading into a couple of our holidays, we're talking about some great movies with Thanksgiving and Christmas and everything coming up. There's going to be a lot of things where I'm probably going to be scaling back just a little bit, even though I'm not that big of a thing. But I will have some more things coming out. I have some people I'm going to be jumping on their channels, but I don't think anything that's been put out there yet. But I'll just say, hey, if you have fun hanging out, talking about movies, and seeing some live streams sometimes, yeah, come on by and check me out.
All right, Johnny.
Well, thanks again for having me, Mike, and thanks to everybody else here on the panel. It was a blast hanging out with you guys. I believe in 2 days I'm going to be doing the movie club watch along with Tiana and Jeff, and we're going to be watching, I guess, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Hell yeah!
That's all I've got so far. I will be doing, another, I guess, my haul video where I've been kind of away from YouTube, where I've been moving and everything. And as you can see, I'm in my new place. So I'm going to be showing you guys what I picked up and my Criterion haul that I've had over the past month. So that's what I got. And you can find me at What's Johnny Watching here on YouTube, and Johnny Likes Movies over on Instagram.
Steve.
Yeah, so yesterday I released probably my final Criterion haul for the month. Like I said, December 2nd, the end of the sale. But it's probably my last. I picked up like 7 new titles this month and like 4 last month for the flash sale. So it's like I'm kind of burnt out now. I've got pretty much everything I wanted this month. So yeah, tonight I'm gonna watch Planes, Trains, and Automobiles after this the stream. So watch it again. I'm planning on watch it before Thanksgiving anyway. So might as well watch it tonight. Everybody kind of inspired me to do it. So thanks, Mike, for having me on tonight. Everybody, good to meet Jake. And I think I've been on streams with everybody else. Always great hanging out with all you guys and gals and gals.
Okay.
Yep. Thanks, Mike, for letting me be a part of this. I had a good time getting to speak with everybody. I do my daily videos on my channel, so nothing really new coming up. I do have I saved my Criterion video for the last of this month, so that'll be coming up. Plus, I'll be doing my what I watched during the month video coming up at the end of next week, and what I picked up during the month. So definitely check those out. I appreciate it. Hope everybody has a great Thanksgiving.
Absolutely. Gobble gobble.
Jake.
Steelbook Obsessed on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. I hit 9.7 thousand followers on YouTube today. I'm really hoping to get to 10K by the end of the year. That was my big goal. So it's going to be close. It's going to be close. So I have a lot of videos shot that just need to be edited, but hopefully in the next few weeks they will be cycled out, and a lot of movie putting away videos, a lot of like out in the wild thrifting videos, and hopefully a couple more reviews as well before the end of the year hits.
Tiana.
Tiana loves movies, and this Sunday over on Geeks and Flicks, I'm on the live stream with them talking about American Pie movies and rating American Pie movies.
Yeah,
nice.
My favorite. And then, of course, with Johnny and Jeff on Sunday night as well to watch Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Oh, and every Thursday, a new YouTube video from me as well.
Well,
very nice.
And Jeff.
So yeah, we got a watch along going on my channel on Sunday for Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Thanks again, Mike, for inviting me on. I have always a blast with everybody. You always get such a great panel together. And let's see, I got a Criterion haul video. I know I had talked about in the lead up that I was going to kind of scale back and maybe only get 2 or 3, and I've already broke that rule. So we'll have a Criterion haul video. And then if Disney will ever get my last few shipments out, I have a pretty big haul for my Disney Movie Insiders final haul. So that's coming at some point.
And Mark.
The one I would really be I have to promote the interview I did with Mike Manello. It was the first time I ever got to conduct an interview with somebody. Wow. Never really thought that I would get to do something like that, but Mike was super generous with his time. It's like an hour and 20 minutes. If you like Blair Witch, obviously watch it. I'm not going to ask you to watch it if you don't like Blair Witch, because you probably wouldn't find it that interesting. But he was super forthcoming, was able to provide a lot of information. that's probably the thing I'm most proud of right now is that interview. And then before the end of the year, I want to try to get out a Texas Chainsaw Massacre sort of video essay that I'm working on to kind of coincide with the 50th anniversary. So the goal is to have that out by the end of November. So look out for that as well. And thank you, Micah, as well, just for having us all together. It's always so much fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and thank you guys once again for being a part of this panel tonight. Super fun. And thank the audience again. Amazing audience out there tonight. For my channel, you guys know me. You can always look forward to another future stream and video upcoming. I will say, if you haven't taken on the challenge for November, the Thinkful Impactful Movie Challenge, you got to take it on. It's so simple to do. You just pull out a title for each of the letters of thankful, and say why you're thankful for that movie. So kind of what we did here a little bit tonight, but you can put it into a video form. You can post it on Instagram, TikTok. If you do a YouTube video, share with me on Instagram so I can share it out to the community, of course. But yeah, definitely take that challenge if you can before November's up. But yeah, other than that, everybody have a good Thanksgiving out there. Have a great time. Everybody go watch some movies.
Thanks, everyone.
Take care.
Bye.
Have a good one.